Well, good afternoon, and you're very welcome to the beautiful setting of Oak Hill in County Wicklow, just 6 miles away from Wicklow Town, for this afternoon's 20 over final match of the season between the Leinster Lightning and the Northern Knights. And about a half an hour ago, the toss was made. The Northern Knights won that toss, and they have elected to bat. So it's the Leinster Lightning players just making their way onto the field of play. Delighted to have Craig Senior alongside me today. And Craig, we've got some very big changes for the Northern Knights today. A lot of players unavailable.
Well, this is the last game of the series. The title has already been decided in the favour of the Leinster Lightning. And the Northern Knights, well, they've got a few players missing here today. In fact, they could field another side with the players who are missing. And it starts right at the top with Paul Sterling, and we wish him all the best for his wedding. I believe Owen Morgan is best man, so that's a legitimate reason for missing the game, I suppose. However, we'll go through those people who are unavailable for the Northern Knights later. But yes, although this title has been decided, you can be absolutely certain the Northern Knights would like nothing more than to knock over the Leinster Lightning at least once this season.
Yeah, the other two matches, well, quite close affairs, but Leinster Lightning coming out on top in both of those crucial matches. Back in May, they won by 5 wickets in Pembroke. But a really important result was that one in Stormont on June the 4th, when it was 142 for 9 against 141 for 8. And the Leinster Lightning won by just one solitary run, and that's the reason why the title is theirs, really, because they find themselves in an unassailable lead, having won 7 of their 8 matches this year.
Yeah, 13 points ahead in the table, and in fact, if you look at it, they're the only ones who are above 50%. Even the Northern Knights have lost 4 of their 8 games to date, and the Munster Reds and the Northwest Warriors just winning 2 apiece.
So here we go, first ball of the day, 20 overs. It should be fast and furious, and straight off the mark, Jake Egan with that little push to mid-wicket. Jake Egan, one of the many players who've come into the Northern Knights side today, and opening with him, James McCullum.
McCullum, he's had a difficult season. He sort of started as man in possession on the test team and just seems to have fallen a little bit out of favour. But it's great to see Egan back. He's been injured this season, just coming back from injury now today. I suppose the last couple of days of the season, just get back into the middle.
Well, the wicket looks good. Looks like there's very little grass on it, but hard to know how it'll play because it was a very damp morning here in County Wicklow. Covers were only taken off about an hour and a half ago. It's Fionn Hand steaming in. And down the leg side, that'll be signalled wide.
Well, Leinster Lightning, pretty much a full strength side. Plenty of internationals and experience in there, starting with Hand. We'll see them as this game progresses. But it's a lovely setting and a lovely day. Seems strange that this is the final game of the series.
Slashed at that wide one, but it's too wide. Our umpires today, Jareth McCready and Aidan Sievers.
They have differing journeys to the ground. Aidan Sievers coming up from Wexford. I suppose has the easiest trip of all the officials here. Not quite as close as you are though, Stephen.
Yep, I'm living in Wicklow Town now, and it's just a few miles up the road. Nice leisurely drive down to this beautiful setting. That one's flashed over. Point for the first boundary of the innings, and it goes to James McCullum, moving the score to 7.
Well, super shot this, but again, Hand just going a bit too short and a bit too wide. McCullum frees his arms, and he gets, once he clears the circle, he knows there's no man out there, not even an attempt to run. He knew straight that came off the bat that it was going nowhere except the boundary. Nice start to the over, or nice start to the innings for McCullum.
Couple of slips in. Are you surprised to see 2 slips rather than maybe just 1?
Well, it's a very positive move from the Leinster Lightning. They're backing their bowlers here, certainly. Just a little problem with the advertising signs down at the far end, at the south end of the ground.
That one was more pitched up, but straight to the man, deep mid-wicket. Just a single this time.
Yeah, ordinarily we've seen all season that during this power play the two men out of the circle are usually down at a fine leg and at third man. Now we do have a third man here, but on the leg side, as you say, right all the way around by square leg, deep square leg really. Unusual spot to have somebody out. It means that Seamus Lynch is a short third man and he could be quite busy there.
Very close to the edge that time, as a little flash and a miss by Jake Egan.
It was enough to get a little hop out of the keeper as it came through. No real appeal though.
Lorcan Tucker, number 3 there with the gloves on. The Leinster Lightning team singing him a happy birthday before this match began. So happy birthday, Lorcan. Where else would he rather be than about playing a game of cricket on his birthday? Another 4 flashed away over backward point, and that has been a very productive over for the Northern Knights.
Well, that boundary off the last ball making all the difference to the over. Instead of 8, it's 12 off that first over. That one flashed over the fielder just behind point, but it had enough on it to clear him. And again, once you beat the ring, it's going to be very difficult or very unusual if the ball doesn't go for 4. So 12 off the first over. That's a super start for the Northern Knights. As I say, they're going to be keen to register and inflict on the Leinster Lightning a first defeat.
Well, George Dockrell captaining the Leinster Lightning as he has been all season, and he is going to start the bowling from the camera end. Little bit of spin early on, maybe just to see what's in this pitch.
Well, has his run-up marked out. He's bowled well this year, George. When you think of the difficulties he's had over the last couple of years, he's come back into it now and really becoming a true all-rounder for not only the Leinster Lightning and for his club side, Phoenix, but also for the full Irish side. Certainly gives the skipper more options.
And straight away, that one goes out to the boundary. A backward square leg, and it's another 4 for James McCollum, who moves to 9.
Well, Dockrell himself, you can see from his body language, he realises straight away that that one just too far down the leg side, coming across the batsman. He just helped it on his way, and Egan has moved on to 5.
Straight to the fielder this time, no run. A rare dot ball in this start that has given the Knights 16 after 8 valid deliveries and a few wides. Pulled away in the air, and the man was there, but the catch is dropped out in the deep by John McNally, who's playing today but not available for the big 50 over game tomorrow.
Well, McNally is making ground across. He thought he had it with his hands in the right position, but it fell through his hands to the turf.
Big let off for McCullum. And a nice delivery there, beating the edge of McCullum's bat.
That's the first ball McCullum's faced from Dockrell. Just letting that one go through.
Little bit of lift there.
Well, it'd be encouraging for George just to see that bit of lift. Dockrell just looking for that outside edge at the moment. He has a slip in place.
And the reverse sweep. Not quite coming off, but at least a single, which brings us to the end of the over. McCollum will keep strike 7 off that first over from Dockrell, and after 2 it's 19 without loss.
So often we do see spin at the start of these T20s now. Captains seem to think that they can get away with an over a spin or just show the batsman something slightly different. But after 2 overs now, well, they're going along quite nicely. Oh, the Northern Knights, they'll be quite happy with that.
Well, they'll be wanting to set a big score here with Leinster Lightning batting second, and with all of the firepower that they have in their team, any score is gettable, really.
Looks like it's short, sharp spells for the Leinster Lightning today. Sam Harbinson.
Third over, third bowler. That was short as well. Straight to the fielder at point.
Well, the difference for that one compared to the ones that Hand was bowling earlier was that one was right in, not giving the batsman any room. And it's in at the stumps, in at the batsman himself, and unable to free his hands like he did against the first over.
Just one slip here for Harbinson. The attempted ramp shot didn't quite come off for James McCullum. Backward point. Fielder backward point on the boundary, and the other fielder in the deep is at square leg. 6 overs in the first, the only power play of a 20-over match. And that one's down to the man at deep point. So a single will bring Jake Egan on strike.
I'm not sure whether we've seen this opening partnership before for the Northern Knights. Usually you'd see Ross Adair at the top of the order. Perhaps they're saving his bat for later on.
Yeah, Ross Adair, who's the second highest scorer. Well, that's a fine hit. Lifted over deep mid-wicket for a maximum.
Well, there you see satisfaction on Egan. He deposited that one down the hill. The fielder has disappeared, and I suspect there'll be a minute or two, and you wouldn't know where he's going to pop up. Lovely shot, though. Square of the wicket. The fielder on the fence was there for that shot, but, well, Egan got enough on that, put it away nice and cleanly. And this has been a super start for the Knights. They really have started to, as they mean to go on, I think.
Hard for Leinster Lightning to be fully motivated today with that trophy coming to them later in the afternoon, and not much to play for in this competition. But of course, both these sides playing tomorrow in the 50 over, so you don't really want to give your opponents too much confidence going into what will be a very interesting game tomorrow.
Yeah, that 50 over table is such that the Leinster Lightning, although they're currently in third place, do have a chance of taking the title if they win convincingly tomorrow. But at the moment we have this 20 over game. As you say, the destination of the title already decided, but both of these sides, well, Leinster want to keep their unbeaten record in this competition, and the Knights would like nothing more than to spoil that for them.
John McNally doing the fielding at point there to save the run. Most of the deliveries from that far end have been short so far. Straight to the fielder at mid-on. That would have been close had it hit, but a well-taken single. And at the end of over number 3, it's 27 without loss for the Northern Knights. Harbinson's first over going for 8.
Well, as we said, this has been a super start for the Northern Knights. 27 without loss off 3. 9 and over. My goodness, how they'd like to keep that going for 12, 13 overs and then accelerate. And they could end up with a very big score. And the Lightning, well, they're going to want to just apply a little bit of a handbrake, and the best way to do that, of course, is to take a wicket or two, get new batsmen into the middle.
Some very good batters in the lineup for the Northern Knights. The Adair brothers, Cade Carmichael, Ben Callitz. Dockrell to continue with over number 4. Slightly missed time to mid-wicket, no run.
Well, Dockrell obviously saw enough in the pitch at the start.
Nice reverse sweep that for a boundary, out to backward. And Egan goes to 16 and the score looking very healthy at 31 for no wicket in the 4th over.
Well, those are the sorts of shots we've become used to seeing in T20. Looking for gaps anywhere, really.
Well, you can see from the reaction of the Leinster Lightning players, that was close.
Certainly wasn't too far away. A few exclamations out there in the middle. Dockrell not letting go on this occasion.
Bit of cat and mouse there between bowler and batter, that's for sure. We know what the intentions of Egan were anyway.
Yes. And I think that may be one of the reasons why Dockrell didn't release the ball.
Out into the deep goes Chris De Freitas. A backward point. And the deep mid-off has come inside the circle. Shorter this time. And it's through the fielder in the covers. Gavin Hoey diving for it, but unable to stop it. 2 more to the total. Egan starting here at a blistering pace, 18 off 10. The camera's facing into the sun here in Oak Hill, which can make it very difficult for our cameraman to see where the ball goes. And for us as well as commentators.
Very much so. Nice shot that from Egan. Just played it quite deliberately into the ground. Took the pace off it. And there was a single inside the ring. And this
that's
time
been pulled away handsomely. End of another expensive over from George Dockrell.
This time just drifting down that leg side. If no contact had been made, it definitely would have been signalled wide, but as it was, perfect response, putting it away over the boundary. 4 more runs. As Stephen said, 38 without loss after 4. They really are going after the Leinster bowling and doing so quite successfully at the moment.
5 fours and a 6 in the opening 4 overs. Egan on 19, McCullum on 17, 38 for no wicket after 4. And a very expensive 2 overs from George Dockrell. Harry Tector.
No. I think there's been
There's
a change
been a
of
number
shirts.
change, yes, number change. Harry Tector normally wears number 13, so sorry about that.
Endeavour first ball in interprovincial cricket. Goes for a single. Well, there'd be a few nerves, I'd say, coming into such a starred group. He's had a good season with Merion. They reached the Arrow Senior Cup final, 2nd in the Premiership. A tough year for them, but good year, certainly individually, and reward in this call-up today.
So into the 5th over. Northern Knights well on top. Leinster Lightning's bowling needs to tighten up a bit. Need to put some pressure on these batters.
And that will do it.
That was a perfect delivery, clipping the top of the bails And that's how you break a fast and furious opening partnership. Deverai getting his first wicket for Leinster Lightning. And it's 39 for 1 in the 5th over. And that lightning start from the Knights has been halted for a moment at least. McCullum out for 17.
Well, James McCullum doing exactly what the Northern Knights wanted and got the side off to a flashing start. On this occasion, he missed one going across his body, crashed into the stumps. That seems the end of McCullum in the T20's batting statistics for the season. He'll head back to the dressing room, and he's been replaced by Cade Carmichael.
Cade Carmichael, the Estonians man, needs just 12 runs today to get over 200 in the series this year.
Well, only 3 batsmen have managed that, and well, James McCullum was one of them. He was on 202. Ross Adair 209, but Leinster Lightning's Tim Tector 233. Ross Adair, of course, is the only man to have scored a century in this IP20 so far this season. So we'll be waiting for his input, his arrival at the middle. But at the moment, Cade Carmichael to face his first ball.
Big appeal, but no finger. Great start though from Deverai.
I had a feeling there was a bit of an inside edge on this. I think there was 2 sounds. At least I heard 2 from up here, but that could just be my hearing. But I think that's the reason why the umpire's finger remained very much at his side. But a good over by Dev, bowling from that southern end, as all the seamers have so far.
Not a lot of breeze today. Nice day for a game. And a rare dot ball as Carmichael tries to find his way at the start of what he hopes will be a long innings. If you can have such a thing in T20. What a start for Deverai. He'll be thrilled. Now he's just got to finish it off.
Well, that is a good over.
Tremendous stuff from the new man, Melvin Deverai, making his debut for Leinster Lightning, and first over doing exactly what his skipper would have wanted, taking a wicket and keeping the runs down. Just 1 off that over, plus the wicket of McCullum, and after 5 it's 39 for 1.
Well, there is the batting card so far. You can see Egan has gone off like he's in a hurry. And McCullum was joining him in that until he was just bowled and Carmichael just out to the middle. And he's had 3 deliveries just to see himself in. And now another change of bowling. And it's the second number 13. Harry Tector from the camera end.
Yeah, Harry Tector with his little spin. And on strike is Jake Egan.
Well, this is clever captaincy by Dockrell.
That was short and punched down the ground for a boundary. Egan continuing with his assault.
Well, very similar to the skipper's first ball. That was also a loosener. Also disappeared for 4. But yes, you put the spinner on in this last over of the power play. You're asking the batsman, go on, go for it, but you might lose your wicket. And it's throwing that challenge up to the batsman. And at the moment, the batsman's more than willing to take it on.
That one pulled out to the deep fielder, Gavin Hoey. At cow corner, as we like to call it. Not the best of shots from Egan, but he gets a single.
Well, you can see certainly Egan is willing to take Tector on, whether it's inside the power play or not. Just bringing a man, Tim Tector, onto the leg side, short mid-wicket.
Both deep fielders are in the leg side at cow corner and deep square leg. Short delivery, but a single down to backward square leg, where it's fielded by Fionn Hand for a single. Carmichael off the mark.
Well, changes in the field. Tector moving back to the offside.
George Dockrell dropping to deep mid-on. And the fielder at backward square leg has come inside the circle. And it's pulled over his head, but straight to Gavin Hoey for just a single.
Well, you can see the intent there from Egan. He's looking to go big and to clear the ropes. It wasn't to be on this occasion. They just got the single. But yeah, Egan really is looking to chase after every bowler at the moment. In fact, every delivery he's looking to score from.
Just 2 balls left in the power play. And that'll be another single to take the score to 47. And Carmichael to 2. Fancy Egan might have a big blow here. Final ball of the power play. We'd love to get to 50 after 6 overs. And that is cracked away. No fielder in that direction. And Egan does the job. 30 of 16 deliveries in the power play. He's on 30. Carmichael on 2. That Tector over going for 12 runs. And it's 51 for 1 at the end of the power play. And a certain advantage to the Knights, who won the toss and decided to bat.
Well, yes, they certainly appear to have made the most of winning that toss and electing to bat. They couldn't ask for much better than 8.5 and over in that power play. And certainly Jake Egan, coming back from injury, is making the most of the opportunity. You see the umpire signalling the end of that power play. More men outside the circle now. Unsurprisingly, no change of bowling at the southern end. Deborah are going to take this first one.
Short and pulled handsomely by Carmichael.
Oh. You see this one when it crosses the fence, Stephen. There's a spectator there, and he thought he was going to field it. And it ended up causing him no end of trouble.
Well, Carmichael gets his first boundary and moves to 6. If there's something we've learned from these opening overs, it is that you can't really bowl short on this wicket.
Yeah, it's not coming through with the pace that the bowlers are hoping for.
That's better. Perfect length from Deverai and through to the birthday boy, Lorcan Tucker.
That's a much better delivery, much fuller. Batsman looking to drive almost off the back foot.
Some nice heat in that sun today.
Yes.
Although we are in a little trap here, you'd have to say. Up on the top of the hill, overlooking the ground. Maybe
rattling into the pads.
I was wondering if there might have been a double sound there. What did you think?
I can understand the appeal, but I think A, it was going a little bit high, and B, there may have been bat involved. There wasn't a clear, coordinated appeal from the fielding team. It was mainly the bowler.
Yeah, Deverai right on the spot though. He'll be full of confidence now. He's had a great season for Merion, taking 28 wickets at a very good average. And that's just snicked off the outside edge and it rattles away. beating Fionn Han down at third man for another boundary. But a good ball.
Well, this one taken very fine. And it runs away to the boundary. That's the second boundary in the over. And the Knights, well, they seem to have rejoined the fast scoring. The Fast and the Furious, bats flying.
That run rate at 9, very healthy with lots of overs and lots of wickets to go. Another good delivery. Tucking up the batter. Jake Egan just playing it straight back.
I think Egan has done the hard work now. He's been out there for 18 balls. He's obviously seen quite well. He's got a number of boundaries already.
4 fours and a 6 so far. That's a good delivery, right on the spot. Thought about the second, but there never was another run in that. So he'll keep strike. Will Egan on 35, Carmichael on 6. More expensive over from Deverai, but some good deliveries in it too. So he'll be encouraged. And at 7 overs gone, 61 for 1.
Yeah, Deveraj was unfortunate there. One of those fours was a definite thick edge that went past where the first slip would have been. Not that it would have been a catch, it was all along the ground, but it would have been fielded there, that's for sure. And now we see the introduction of Gavin Hoey from the camera end. And this will be, well, watching Hoey bowl in the Interprovincials recently, and also for his club Pembroke. It's been an absolute delight.
You would say that, wouldn't
well, no,
you?
but it's been a delight to watch him. I mean, especially for the... Yes, I was delighted to see it in Pembroke colours as well as Leinster Lightning. But I tell you, this here and now, I'd pay admissions to watch Gavin Hoey bowling anywhere in the country. It really is entertainment personified. And it's not through any flashy behaviour or anything, it's just from his bowling. It's been amazing. It's been soap on a rope stuff. And the control he's had. I've built him up, so expect this one to disappear over the boundary.
It's just what the Lightning need. Somebody who can slow this run rate down. And look at that, straight down for a 6. Commentators curse, I'm afraid, at least for that first delivery.
Stand and deliver from the batsman, and it brings him 6 runs straight down the ground.
41 off 20 now. Jake Egan. Over 200 scoring rate. And there he goes again. 2 balls, 2 sixes. He is seeing it big.
Well, this is a beautiful shot. The thing I like about this is that he's not just trying to overhit it. These are controlled cricket shots, and he's putting them away. 2 sixes, 2 lovely shots. And now Dockrell going over to have a word with Hoey. How far up on the bank do you want the fielder is the question, I think.
Yep, the natural banks around this beautiful Oak Hill ground giving spectators a wonderful vantage point. That's shorter and pulled away to Fionn Hand at deep mid-on for a single. And Egan raises his eyes to heaven as if to say, that should have been the hat-trick.
Yeah, he was definitely looking to clear Hand. It wasn't to be on this occasion. But still a very good over for the Northern Knights.
And that's gone straight through the fielder at cover. A rare misfield by Leinster Lightning, who are usually so proficient in that part of the game. A couple of runs to Carmichael. 6-6-1-2. Not what the skipper would have asked for. But you never know. Gavin Hoey, like you say, capable of a good delivery at any time. That one pulled away by Egan. To Tector in the deep. Carmichael rather. My apologies to him.
Yeah, Jake Egan now just too short of his half century. Now he'd love to get them with this delivery.
And there it is. A spanking maximum towards the pavilion and a wonderful 50 from Jake Egan in incredible time. And including 3 sixes in this first Gavin Hoey over, which has gone for over 20. And the Knights in control here. 8 overs gone, 83 for 1. And there's the stats on Egan's 50.
No, that's
Carmichael. Yeah, not out 9, but Egan has hit 4 sixes and 4 fours in a fabulous knock.
Well, he's certainly not hanging around, just 8 overs on the board. Hoey's over, going for 21 runs, and 18 of those coming in the first 2 and the last delivery, all of them crossing the rope. And Egan has gone very quickly to 54 off just 23 deliveries.
And another change of bowling for the Lightning, who can't quite work out what the best tactics are here. John McNally coming on. 7th bowler used by George Dockrell. Full toss, pulled away fine down the leg side for another boundary for Carmichael this time.
Oh, this juggernaut just keeps going. That is the Northern Knights batting at the moment. They have lost James McCullum. He went for 17. He was bowled. But Jake Egan has been there since the start. He's now on 54, and he now has a willing partner and a well-able partner in Cade Carmichael.
That run rate now well above 10. Just the single this time for Carmichael, out to the deep. 88 for 1 in the 9th over. A lot of top batters still to come. Nice sunny day. Who wouldn't want to have a bat today?
Well, certainly. Being able to free their arms and enjoy themselves in the middle right now.
Mistimed this one, but it'll still... Thought they might go for 2, but Egan deciding that 1 is enough. Well, 55 to him now.
Quite sensible, really. They know the runs are coming. They know they're at a good score already. No point in trying to add one dodgy run, which could lose a wicket. And he's quite confident in his partner, Cade Carmichael.
Oh, a rare mistake, and the chance was there for the run out. That was Tector steaming in from backward point, couldn't quite find the stumps. Well, that was close.
Well, it was a very definite no from Egan on that occasion, and quite rightly too. Don't know what Carmichael was thinking of there, and I'm sure he's resetting his calibration of what a run is after that.
A dot ball, it's a rare moment in the last few overs. And there's another. Good
like
bowling
Dublin,
this from McNally.
Just like Dublin buses. They just come along in 2s and 3s, these dot balls.
And good job here by McNally, bowling wicket to wicket, trying to keep it tight. Don't give the batsman too much width. And unfortunately, you can't stop Carmichael. Spanking hit down the ground.
Well, at the moment, the Northern Light batsmen are treating the Leinster Lightning bowlers like they're from a junior league, just taking them on. And they are just scoring runs for fun.
McNally's first over goes for 10. It's Carmichael on 18, Egan on 55. And it's 93 for 1 after 9 overs. and that run rate 10.33 would suggest that definitely the 200 is a possibility today, which is usually a target for teams at this level. 10 and over really puts it up to the side batting second.
Yeah, you always feel you can get 10 and over for 2, 3, maybe even 4 overs, but being asked to score 10 and over 20 overs puts an awful lot of pressure on the batsman, and we'll see that in the second innings, no doubt. But at the moment, well, Northern Knights will be feeling they're in a super spot. And it's going to be the return of the skipper from the camera end for the 10th over. George Dockrell.
Already gone for 18 off his first 2. So can he stem this flow of runs and maybe break this partnership? That's a very good delivery to start with. Quietly played into the covers by Egan, who's 55, have taken just 25 deliveries. And the reverse sweep finds the gap, or does it? No, it's well fielded, a backward square leg.
Plenty of cover there for Dockrell.
It's good execution of the stroke, but couldn't quite find that gap.
This one just thudding into the pads. It's another one that Dockrell's just firing into the batsman's feet. He's running the danger of going down the leg side and conceding the wide, but
3 dot balls at the start of the over, and just 1 off the 4th delivery, well fielded out in the deep by Harry Tector.
You can see Egan is keen to get after Dockrell, but if anything, just losing a little bit of his timing as he's trying to put more power into the shot.
Now can Leinster Lightning find a way to get that second wicket and maybe change the complexion of this innings, which so far has gotten away from them? Just the single to deep mid-wicket. Much better over this from Dockrell. 95 for 1 with 1 ball left in the 10th over. And that's played gently down the ground to mid-off. So Egan goes to 57. Carmichael is on 19. Just 3 singles off that Dockrell over. The best over bowled by the Lightning so far in terms of runs. And there's the situation. There's the Lightning's bowling figures at halfway stage.
Well, you can see there, only the skipper and Deverage have bowled more than 1 over. It really has been spread around 7 bowlers for those 10 overs. And, well, you can see on the economy rates just how these batsmen have done so far.
Well, a fine partnership this between Egan and Carmichael, dominated by the opener with 57 off 29 deliveries. Carmichael chipping in with 19 off 16, and at the halfway point, it's 96 for 1. Devereux is back on. That one's squirting away in the air for quite some time, but Gavin Hoey couldn't get there from the boundary. So just a single to Egan. Hasn't quite found the middle of the bat on his last few deliveries. But approaching 100 at the start of the 11th over. It's a really healthy start for the Northern Knights. Fionn Hand is down at 3rd man, so just a single for Carmichael.
Well, one of the things you have to say about this Northern Knights side, they did go off at a rate of knots, but they did so with proper cricket shots. It wasn't just slogging or aiming for cow corner or just trying to overpower the delivery of the bowler. It was proper cricket shots, and you get the feeling now that they're looking for bigger hits.
That wasn't quite timed by Egan.
Also beautifully fielded by the stumps at the non-striker's end, otherwise they would have got through for the single.
So far, Devereux has shown some real quality in his bowling, playing at this interprovincial level for the first time. He looks like he's enjoying his experience. That's up in the air. And it's taken. A good catch by Harry Tector at backward point. Kept his eye on it really well. It wasn't an easy catch coming over his shoulder.
Those are tough to take over your shoulder like that, and he's done a fabulous job. But
so the second wicket goes. And a wonderful innings by Jake Egan comes to an end with that excellent strike rate. 181.25 with 5 fours and 4 sixes. He certainly set things up nicely for the Knights. 98 for 2 in the 11th over.
Great work for Devereux. He picks up his second wicket, and it is the second wicket of the innings. 98 for 2. Those two put on 59 together, and that was a fine partnership for the Northern Knights, and continued the good work that had been done by the opening pair when they put on 39. We're just short of 100 now. 2 balls left in this, the 11th over, on the screen.
And the incoming batsman, Ben Callets, young Canadian, left-handed batter, Muckamore Cricket Club. And 2 of the young guns of these sides coming face to face, with Devereux making his debut today for the Leinster Lightning, and Ben Callets coming into the Northern Knights squad this year. Oh, that was very close to the edge. Really good delivery again from Devereux, who's right on the spot there.
You can see Callett's getting all squared up on that one. He wasn't entirely sure how to play at it. He'd be pleased to see it just fly through to the keeper. Well, the Leinster Lightning will be delighted with taking the wicket. It's often the best way of slowing down a scoring rate.
And that's one of the first deliveries we've seen go through to wicketkeeper Tucker. Another fine over from the new boy Devereux. 2 for 12 now from his 3 overs. What a job he has done for the Lightning in the context of that scoreline. 98 for 2 after 11.
The Knights still continuing. 9 and over, up to 11 overs. That's looking at a total somewhere around 180. However, with the way and the wickets in hand, they'll certainly have 200 on their mind. We saw how in Stormont early this year, Leinster Lightning won by 1 run, and then back in May, well, the Leinster Lightning chasing down the Northern Knights 191. So they know that the Leinster Lightning are capable of chasing down big scores. So they really are doing their best to put a good target on the board.
Gavin Hoey coming back from the camera end, and that was a fine hit through the offside, beating the dive of the fielder in the deep. Another boundary to Carmichael. 24 for him now, off 18, probably realising that he's the senior partner now of this partnership. For those of you joining late, you can see there that the Knights won the toss, and looks like it was a good decision to bat on what's a very good wicket here at Oak Hill. Just a single that time for Carmichael, so new batter on strike, Ben Callets, facing Hoey for the first time.
Hoey came off a very successful weekend, took 5 for 32 or something in the final league game in the Premiership for his club. Instrumental in Pembroke winning that Premiership. Oh,
that one snicked away just past the outside hand of Tim Tector, who was feeling there in the slips, and it's gone away to the boundary for 4.
Well, he opened the face of the bat, but that's a risky shot to play when you have a slip in place like that. But on this occasion he gets away with it, runs us down to the boundary, another 4.
Right arm over to the left-hander, a little bit shorter that time, and Callett's picking up a run to backward point.
Well, he's doing exactly the right thing at the moment as the new batsman in. All he wants to do is get bat on ball and get down to the non-striker's end. And leave his more established partner.
Good delivery that from Hoey. Slip still in for Leinster Lightning, despite the fact that the Knights are going at a very healthy run rate here. Just 3 inside the circle, saving 1. And Hoey lets out an exasperated roar as another 6 sails away off the bat of Cade Carmichael.
Well, tossed up there by Hoey. And it disappears onto the bank. 3 fielders in the circle. All they could do was watch it go over their heads. And it's another expensive over for Hoey. 2 overs bowled, 38 runs conceded. Well, you wouldn't have been expecting that before the game started. But the Northern Knights are obviously targeting Hoey, taking him on, and so far doing so with great success.
And it has to be said, Cade Carmichael, since the departure of Jake Egan, has basically taken over his mantle and is cracking the ball away to all parts of this Oak Hill ground.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, he wasn't exactly quiet as the junior partner in the partnership with Egan, but he certainly has stepped up now. He has Ben Callett's with him.
Callett's on strike here. 2 in the deep, behind square on the leg side, 3rd man, and deep point. Over number 13. Knights wanting to get that run rate above 10. Pulled away to Hoey at backward square leg for a single. Fionn Hand back into the attack after his first over went for 12.
Yeah, we thought 12 was expensive off and over until Gav Hoey's first one went for over 20. But it's just been part and parcel of what the Knights have been doing here.
Well, they'll be smarting from the fact that they've lost both matches against the Lightning in this series this season. That's another fine shot through mid-on by Carmichael, splitting the fielders out there on the boundary.
Well, this is what I was talking about earlier. The Northern Knights accumulating this score through good cricket shots as well as just overpowering bowlers. But that one cracking drive through the leg side, finding the boundary. And just moving his fine leg a little wider.
And just a single this time to backward square leg. Carmichael to 36. Callett's unable to get that one away. Good end to the over from Fionn Hand, but none for 20 from his 2 overs. Callett's scoring at a run of ball. Carmichael with 36 off 23, and it's 122 for 2 after 13.
Well, ordinarily, you'd be looking at a score here at the end of 13 overs and saying, well, perhaps that's what we should be doubling. Between now and the end, 8 wickets in hand. Still 7 overs to go. And you get the feeling that, well, I don't want to say they're going to try and accelerate because they've been going along quite nicely at 9.5 and over anyway. And yet here we are, with 7 overs to go and 8 wickets in hand. You get the feeling that, well, they're going to take on the bowling now as if they hadn't been before. Harry Tech to continue from this camera end, the north end, Dublin end. Harry
Tector on for his second over. Well stopped at point. Good fielding there by Sam Harbinson.
I think Dockrell going with Tector not only because of the amount of runs that Hoey was conceding, but the left-right hand combination. Much slower ball from Tector on this occasion, just tossed it up there and played with a bit of caution, but they take the single.
I'd say there's a few Leinster Lightning batters who'll be thinking, can't wait to have a go at this wicket. It looks like a wicket that's got plenty in it for the batters and not much for the bowlers. Very yellow looking wicket, not much grass on it, playing extremely well. In the air, and that's the wicket. Harry Tector with the breakthrough. The third wicket falls at 123, and it's Ben Callets, who never really got into this innings. He's out for 8. And Harry Tector with the breakthrough in the 14th over. 123 for 3.
Well, Callets stay short and sweet, looking to get after Tector, the off-spinner. As I said, the left-hander and the off-spinner. Well, it worked exactly as captain and bowler would have wanted. Just flying away into the gully region, and simplest to catch is taken. And Tector picks up his first wicket, and it's the third wicket of the innings.
And all 3 have involved the new man, Melvin Deverai. 2 wickets and now a catch off the bowling of Harry Tector. He can't stay out of the action. And coming in now at number 5 for the Knights is Ross Adair.
Well, you know, even with the Northern Knights missing 15 players from today's match squad, when you see Ross Adair coming out to the wicket, that's a big bat, and he is the only man to have scored a century in this competition. He has 14 sixes, 21 fours, and 209 runs. 116 of those came in one game. How he'd love to repeat that now.
Best average of the series too, with 66 his average, as you said, of 209 runs. Scored that century against Northwest Warriors up in Eglinton in the middle of August.
Another man who always puts his name into the selectors' minds and deliberations.
5 out in the deep for Harry Tector, but that's just played straight to mid-wicket, where Tim Tector is the fielder.
How many times have they done that before now? Harry bowling, Tim fielding.
Great stuff from Harry Tector. Following on from George Dockrell's over at this end, which went for just 3. Maybe just a little change now in the momentum of this game. That's well outside the off stump and signalled a wide.
Tector trying to get away with one there, just pushing it through to the keeper. Just a little bit too wide on this occasion. But he's trying to get Adair chasing after a wide one.
That's a fine over. Harry Tector getting a wicket, getting the breakthrough. Third wicket fell off that over that just conceded 2 runs. Tector with 1 for 14 off his 2. Adair yet to get off the mark. Carmichael on 37, and after 14 it's 124 for 3.
Well, there are just 6 overs remaining now. Northern Knights at the very least would want to maintain this run rate. Just under 9 at the moment.
Yeah, looks like Melvin Devery is going to bowl his fourth and last over from the far end. Cade Carmichael on strike. 6 overs to go. Lightning will be thinking, just get another wicket, get Carmichael out, have 2 new batters at the crease, and who knows where this innings might go.
And again, it's one of those impossible guess it while you can. What do you think the final score will be? 6 overs to go, 36 deliveries. That would take you up to 160 at a run a ball.
More likely to go for 2 a ball though,
That's what they'd be
given the
looking for.
wickets in hand.
And that would take them up to close to 200. And that's what they'd be looking for.
That was wide and cracked away backward of square. Good fielding by Hoey on the boundary. So just a single.
But you could see there Carmichael taking a step down the track as the bowler was running in. You can see that his intention is there. He's certainly going to take it on. It'll be interesting to see how Ross Adair goes about this now. Just under 6 overs to go now. Does he just swing from the hip immediately, or again? I'd say the proper cricket shots.
Well, he hasn't faced Devery in interprovincial cricket before, so I'm sure he'll take every ball on its merits. Devery not happy with that delivery, and it beats the despairing dive in the deep. Howie unable to cut that off, so a boundary to Ross Adair, who gets off the mark.
Oh, it was the width there that Adair latched onto very quickly. And you can see from how far in front of square he actually hit that, how early he saw it and how early he was onto it. Devereaux looking to close out his allocation of 4 overs.
No run there. Played straight to George Dockrell in the covers. Devery needs to put the ball on the spot. That's exactly where he needs to bowl it. I'm sure Ross Adair will show respect to a good delivery.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? I mean, if you have the accuracy, it's a big help.
That was a bit wide too, and that's definitely gone. But it's well fielded by Fionn Hand up at mid-off. So just a single. You hear the sound off the bat there. Went like a tracer bullet.
It's one of those ones where in the field you just have to try and judge, especially the one that's hit straight at you.
Just a chat there between Devery and his skipper George Dockrell, probably just saying, you know, just need to pitch it up, get your length right.
Just relax. Stop trying to take a wicket, and the wicket will come to you.
It was well wide of the stumps, but got a bit of lift out of this wicket.
That's the first time we've actually really seen lift. We've seen balls dropped in short, but they haven't really been getting up to any decent height. And even that one, you could see the batsman felt that he could get to it. It wasn't to be the case, but they are definitely trying to push it ahead. This time, dot ball down the ground.
Well, that's a really good comeback from Devery after he went for 5 runs off the first 2 deliveries, and that's a really good opening spell for him in interprovincial cricket. 2 for 18 off his 4 overs, and there's the card with 5 overs to go.
Well, Egan, the main part of that, of course, 58 off just 32 deliveries, and Carmichael has joined him early on, and now has Adair as his partner, but Carmichael going along quite nicely, definitely above a runner ball.
And the bowling, well, Deverai getting the accolades, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 18 at an economy rate of 4.5, which given all that's around him has been an excellent debut for him at interprovincial level.
Dockrell going back to Gavin Hoey. It's been expensive so far, but he really does have the capacity to change a game. At the moment, well, the Northern Knights have taken on Hoey and done so quite successfully. Here he is now with just 5 overs to go. And he'll surely be looking to pick up a couple of wickets here as the batsmen really looking for the ropes now.
Rossiter on strike. And he pulls it into that gap, which isn't that wide, between the deep fielders and the onside, and it's another boundary to Adair and another 4 to the total.
Just pulled onto the leg side. As you say, it wasn't a massive gap between those two players, but he judged that just perfectly. Ross Adair, always capable of finding the ropes.
And this time turned into that big gap at mid-wicket. And a very well run too. Could have been worse because they were diving all over the place to stop that one.
Sam Harbinson doing some backing up that was well needed there. Otherwise, what was just a tuck off the hips was going to end up costing 3 runs. Harbinson kept it to 2. As Lorcan Tucker makes his way back to his spot behind the stumps.
Lightning with nobody inside the circle on the leg side except for a fine leg. So that little nudge to mid-wicket is there. That's wide. Free run, 137 for 3. This third Hoey over, starting as the other 2 had finished. Look at that, none for 45. Short this time, and it's pulled away onto the bank at Cow Corner for a 6.
Well, it's not the 50 he would have wanted, but that's 50 up for Gavin Hoey now. He's bowled 15 deliveries and gone for 51 runs. Well, the ball finally found at the back of the covers. I'm sure Hoey wouldn't have been too upset if that ball disappeared, never to be found again. It really has been a tough day for Hoey today. 51 runs from just those 15 deliveries. And there have been boundaries aplenty.
That's the real stat. How many boundaries have gone off his bowling? It's been remarkable, really. That run rate back up into the healthy 9s. And Ross Adair with 17 off 9 deliveries. If anything, increasing the tempo here for the Knights. Proper cricket shot, just played out into the gap on the offside for a single.
I think that has been the secret to the Northern Knights' success. It hasn't been just trying to use power against these Leinster Lightning bowlers. They've used very clever shots. They've picked the deliveries they wanted to take on, and it's proved very successful for them. 144 for 3.
Pulled away to the man at backward square leg. Just a single this time for Carmichael, who hasn't seen a lot of the strikes since Adair came in.
No, they're both happy to leave it to each other at this stage. They're both established batsmen, well established in this interprovincial side.
Another single for Adair, who now has 19 of the 24 runs in this partnership. 19 of the 23 runs in this partnership. But the Knights won't mind who gets them, as long as the score keeps going up. Hoey, none for 54 off 3. Carmichael, a healthy 39. Adair, a quick 19. And it's 146 for 3 after 16.
Well, these two have only been together 2 and a bit overs, 2.2 overs, and already they've put on 23. There's certainly no hanging around from these two. As you say, most of the scorings come from Ross Adair since he entered the fray. But that's not to say, well, Carmichael still scoring at about 130.
So 4 overs to go, 10 and over, and they're over 200. They actually need slightly under 9 and over to get to that mark. Oh, my maths is absolutely hopeless. It's 54 they need. 13, just over 13 and over to get to 200. That's what they'll be thinking. It's Fionn Hand who's come back and hammered straight down the ground for another delightful boundary from Ross Adair, who is seeing the ball big.
Well, the Leinster Lightning bowlers have not been assaulted like this in a long time. They did concede 190 against the Northern Knights back in May, but they chased that down. Will they be able to do the same again today?
150 up. Just a single this time for Adair. He goes to 24, bringing Carmichael on strike. And he'll just be feeling like he has to join the party. He's had so little of the strike since this 4th wicket partnership began. That's down the leg side, and it's punched away to deep mid-on for a single.
Well, the Leinster Lightning won't be too upset at this. Just one boundary in the over so far.
I think that's the operative word, though, so far.
Yeah. Because, you know, Adair has his eyes set. I think he has his eyes set straight down the ground.
4 on the leg side on the boundary. That's ramped up over the wicketkeeper's head. That's a superb shot.
Well, it's just a reflex shot, really, isn't it? Just realised how late he was on it and then just lifted it enough to get it over the keeper. That's quite inventive.
Great skill, great skill.
Days gone by now, a batsman would have just ducked under that, taken the dot ball, but that's not the way of T20 now. Bat on ball, knowing that there was no fielder behind the wicketkeeper. Adair moves on to 28.
And that's pulled away too, but not quite timed this time. That one came off the other side of the bat. You know, it's very hard to see where the ball goes with the sun straight in our eyes. Even with the naked eye. I hate to be a cameraman.
It's getting easier and easier here in the commentary box as the sun moves across the sky. A little more shade in here now. So we watch Hand coming in to complete his 3rd over.
And that's out to deep square leg for a single. Adair will keep the strike. 11 off that over. Hand's 3rd over complete. He's got none for 31. Adair a very healthy 29. Carmichael on 40, and it's 157 for 3 after 17. 3 overs and 43 runs to get to that 200, that magic number. And it's George Dockrell who's taking responsibility to bowl his 4th over from this camera end. Last over went for just 3 runs. He'll be hoping for something similar here.
Well, at the moment, it certainly looks like Josh Manley is going to end up as the leading wicket taker in the IP20 The Munsterman with 12. There are a number of players here who are within striking distance of that.
Just touched into the deep, and that's a very wise decision not to take on the Tector arm. Just a single for Adair this time. He's now the top scorer in the series this year. Ross Adair came into this match with 209. Add that 30, 239. And Lorcan Tucker on 230. Sorry, Tim Tector on 233. But of course, Tector will have an opportunity later on today to get that highest score accolade. Pulled away nicely by Carmichael. Oh, and a bit of hesitation there between the batters. I think Adair wanted it, but Carmichael didn't feel he had the pace to make it.
I think Carmichael thought that there was two there at the start and then realised there wasn't, and his partner had to be informed of the change of mind. But Adair got back safely enough.
Quicker delivery from George Dockrell to Adair, just a single. Singles are good for Leinster Lightning in this situation.
Oh, they'd take that now, wouldn't they?
3 ones off the 3 deliveries of this over. Dockrell making a good comeback after a shaky start. His first 2 overs went for 18. And that's high and into the deep, and it's away to the boundary. Carmichael joining the party, his first boundary in quite some time. He moves to 45.
There we were talking about singles, and suddenly the Northern Knights, just one shot. Suddenly there's 7 off the over, and still 2 balls to go. Carmichael closing in on a landmark of his own. He's just 5 short now of a half century.
Pulled into the deep where Fionn Hand is there. Just a single. 46 now to Carmichael. Adair on 31.
Well, plenty of time for Carmichael to reach that landmark. One might say the way they've been batting, there's enough time for Adair to reach that landmark. He's on 31.
Dockrell's final delivery of the innings. And just a single. So at the end of George Dockrell's 4 overs, none for 30 against the Leinster Lightning skipper. And after 18, it's 166 for 3.
Now we get to see the final assault, the final 2 overs.
But who's going to bowl them?
Judging from the way Lorcan Tucker has discarded the helmet and gone back to the cap, it looks like it's going to be seam. And it looks like, well, certainly for the 19th over, it's going to be Hand. Hand to bowl from the southern end. And the field well and truly spread now.
Well, the 200 might be out of reach, but certainly the Northern Knights are going to set Leinster Lightning a very juicy total, and I'm looking forward to seeing how their batters do today. They certainly have the quality in the lineup to chase down anything. Has the shapings of a good game, this. Nicely into the block hole. Adair could only play that up to deep mid-off for a single.
Well, that's it now, isn't it? It's about death bowling. It's about making it awkward for the batsman. Yorkers, and well, perhaps on another day, another pitch, you'd be talking about slower ball bouncers. All these new deliveries.
Just a little mistake there by Lorcan Tucker, but it's signalled a wide in any case.
Just too short from Hand on this occasion. And that's part of the thing with this pitch is if you want to get any bounce in it, you've got to go so short that it then sort of tennis balls its way over the batsman, and the umpire quite rightly signalling it as a wide. Changing the field, a fine leg coming up inside the circle.
So just 3 in the deep on the leg side, 1 at backward point. And Adair just plays it out to that deep mid-wicket position for the single. Good length deliveries, that's what Fionn Hand needs right now. Nothing half volley-ish, nothing too short.
Nothing wide.
And find your length. Just 10 deliveries remaining in the innings. 170 for 3. Carmichael a boundary away from his 50. And he's hit that superbly. Straight down the ground for a maximum. What a way to bring up your 50. 52 of 34 deliveries. Juicy half volley. Hit straight down to the sight screen.
Oh, what a super shot that was. It hit the frame of the sight screen and then disappeared up over the top. It was like watching one of the high jumpers at the Olympics, where they come in and they just seem to stop and then suddenly take off. And that's what happened with that ball. Cleared the sight screen, but only after bouncing up there.
This one's cracked over the offside. And that should run away on this pretty quick outfield here in Oak Hill for another boundary.
That brings up 180 for the Northern Knights. Leinster going to have to go at over 9 and over anyway. The question is now, just how many more can they add to that?
So Hand has gone from a juicy half volley to a short wide one. What will be coming up here? He's got 2 deliveries left.
There is the 57 partnership.
Look at that.
Of just 31 deliveries.
Nicely played by Carmichael. Better delivery from Hand. The kind of delivery that doesn't allow the batter to free his arms.
.58 for these two now. It really has been exactly what the Northern Knights wanted. Scoring runs, scoring them quickly, but also not losing wickets, and that is a big part of putting a big score together.
That's straight to the fielder at deep mid-on. So just a single, bringing to an end Fionn Hand's difficult day. None for 47 off his 4 overs. Adair on 35. Carmichael on a brilliant 57. And with just 1 over to go, the Knights at 182 for 3.
Well, the Leinster Lightning have moved the ball around. 7 different bowlers used, but they haven't really been able to stem this run rate by the Northern Knights. It started at around 9.5 after a couple of overs. In fact, it was 9.5 after a couple of overs, and it's now 9.5 with an over to go. It's been consistent all the way through. They have taken on the bowling, but not done so in a foolhardy manner that would make you say, they're just throwing the bat. They haven't. They've played proper shots. There's been proper innings. There's a good couple of half centuries from Carmichael and Egan, and good support here from Adair. And 182 for 3 with 1 over to go, and that will be bowled by Sam Harbinson.
Who I have to feel sorry for. He bowled the 2nd over for 8 runs, which in the context of this match wasn't bad. But he's been left out of the attack now, and he comes back to try and bowl the death over against Ross Adair, who has 35 off 22.
Well, beautifully bowled by Harbinson. The umpire deciding it was on the blue line. It was certainly, if it was touching the blue line, it was touching it with only a hand out the side, I think. But good start from Harbinson.
I think Ross Adair was expecting the signal.
I suspect he won't leave the next one there.
Full toss. Cracked down the ground. Just the single this time.
Seamus Lynch had a look at that and wondered if perhaps he was going to have to dive for it, but no, there wasn't quite enough on it, just not catching the middle of the bat. But he was in play for a moment.
2 in the deep on the leg side, 3, 2 on the offside. Where's that gone? Up in the air, and it's out. A wicket for Harbinson in his second over, and it's Carmichael who has to go. Fourth wicket goes down in the 20th over. Carmichael with a fine 57. A really good knock. Came in with the score of 39 for 1. And he's been part of a truly excellent display today by the Northern Night batters.
That is a super knock, 57. Not quite the highest score of the innings, but I don't think he'll be too upset by that. It's only taken him 36 deliveries, and he has been part of what has been a superb batting display from the Northern Knights. Here we are on the last over, a throw of the bat at the ball. It came off the edge, went away behind point. The catch taken nice and simply. And, well, 183 for 4. Those two, well, Carmichael and Adair, they had put on 60. And now Ross Adair's been joined by brother Mark.
But just 3 balls remaining in this Northern Knights innings. That is, if Sam Harbinson can keep these ones inside the wide marks. Well hit shot into the deep by the new batter Mark Adair for a couple.
Well, that's exactly the start he would have wanted. With only 3 balls left, you want to get bat on ball all 3 balls.
Just for the record, it was Gavin Hoey who took that catch to dismiss Cade Carmichael.
Well, Stumps again proving to be a fine 12th fielder for the Leinster Lightning. That's twice now, 1 at each end. We've seen the ball crashing into the stumps and no run taken as a result.
In the context of this match, you'd have to say Simon Harbinson might have had a couple more overs. But here we go. The final ball of the innings. It's straight down the ground. They're going to go for the second. Oh, that's a wild throw. And they make it easily. So it's a couple more for Mark Adair. And the innings comes to a close. Harbinson with a fine 1 for 13 off his 2 overs. Picking up that wicket of Carmichael in the final over. And at the end of 20 overs, it's Adair, Mark on 4 not out, and Ross Adair with a fine 36 off 24. And the target for Leinster Lightning is 188 off their 20 overs. So let's have a look at the card. A very healthy one from a Northern Knights point of view. Super batting from the top. Jake Egan with a wonderful 58, which included 4 sixes. McCullum was a good early support. Carmichael with that fine half century. And then the excellent cameo from Ross Adair at the death. 187 for 4 off their 20 overs.
Ben Calitz was the only one not to score at Grazer a run a ball. And there are the partnerships, obviously dominated by those 2 partnerships, Egan and Carmichael, 59, and Carmichael and Ross Adair with 60. But you can see, even though people came in, and as I say, Calitz may have only got 8 runs, but he was part of a big partnership of 25 as he provided some support for Carmichael. It was a fine innings by the Knights, and that's reflected in those partnerships.
And the bowling for the Lightning, well, only Hand, Dockrell and Devery completed their 4 overs. The runs per over rates not very healthy for Hoey, McNally or Hand. But Harbinson with an important wicket in the last over and a great spell from the debutant, Melvin Devery from Merrion. First time playing for the Leinster Lightning, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 18. A fine display from him.
Well, the figures there. Gavin Hoey, 0 for 54. And that was off just 3 overs. But there is the summary as it stands. The Knights having compiled 187 at the cost of 4 wickets, and they used all 20 overs. That is the end of the first innings. The second innings will begin, I'd say, in about 7 minutes now. But we'll join you then. But for the moment, thank you for joining us, and we hope we'll see you for that second innings. So the Leinster Lightning will need 188, and we'll see that soon enough.
Welcome back to Oak Hill. We're at the halfway point of this final T20 of the series. Northern Knights in a good position at 187 for 4 after their 20 overs, with some fine batting by Cade Carmichael with 57, Jake Egan with 58, and Ross Adair with a quick 36 not out at the end of the innings. And now it's Lightning's turn. Leinster Lightning with 7 wins from their 8 matches this year. Just 1 game was abandoned. So a 100% record from all the matches they've played in this 20 over series this year. But they've got quite a stiff target to chase. And they're going to start with Lorcan Tucker and Tim Tector at the crease. With me is Craig Sargent. How do you think this is going to go?
Grand thanks. I really do feel that this moving Lorcan Tucker up the order, letting him open, it really is a good, positive move from the Leinster Lightning. It shows serious intent in chasing down this total of 188 that they need. And we'll see how Lorcan goes.
2 slips in place for him. James McCullum, number 7, at first slip, and Ross Adair at second. And here we go, Northern Knights opening the bowling with Mark Adair and a single for Tucker down to third man.
Well, the run rate required, nearly 9.5. As I say, it's a tough one to have. And scoring pressure, scoreboard pressure will come to bear on the Leinster Lightning. Unless these two get the Lightning off to a fantastic start. Tim Tector has had a fabulous season so far. 233 runs in this series.
Run on the spot from Ross Adair, Mark Adair rather. Really good pace bowler, experienced Ireland international. He knows exactly what's required here. He won't be phased in any way.
He's seen all this before, hasn't he? At club level, interprovincial level, international level. Opening the bowling in the T20. I'm sure we'll only see a couple of overs from him here, and we'll see those further 2 overs later on in the innings.
Shorter delivery, getting a little bit of lift and beating the outside edge of Tim Tector's bat. Sun has just gone behind the clouds for a moment. It was a beautiful sunny afternoon for the Northern Knights innings. A little bit of cloud cover now for the Knights could make a little bit of difference in the way the ball behaves. Flash and a miss from Tector. Through to the new Northern Knights wicketkeeper, Matt Halliday.
Well, Adair getting just a little bit of movement there off the pitch, getting it to move away from Tector, taking it away from the bat. Adair seems to be getting a little more bounce out of the wicket than any of the Leinster Lightning bowlers did.
And he's bowling at a good length, making it difficult for the batters to get near the ball. A couple of flashes there now from Tim Tector. And like you say, scoreboard pressure. Won't be long before that run rate required heads north of 10. Fine over from Mark Adair. What a start for the Northern Knights. Defending that 187. And Mark Adair with the first over going for just 1 single.
Well, that last delivery from Adair pulled his fingers across it and it jagged right back in on Tim Tector. All he could do was keep it out, and what a marvellous first over for the Northern Knights. They couldn't have asked for better than that. Just that one run coming from it, and when the required rate is over 9, and over with just at 1, well, it might not be a maiden, but it's almost as good as.
Cade Carmichael will start from the camera end.
Haven't seen too much of Carmichael with ball in hand. Still a slip in place.
2 deep fielders at deep mid-off and mid-wicket.
Yeah, unusual to see both fielders in the power play in front of the bat, out of the ring.
Down the leg side and just touched off some part of Tucker's bat or glove for a single.
Tim Tector, who's had innings of pure chaos and destruction this season. He'll be looking for the same again here. Off to a slow start at the moment, but that can be caught up, no problem at all.
Change in the field for him, and that's a cracking shot. One bounce over the boundary. Solidly hit.
Well, there's him caught up. He was 0 off 5, and he's now 6 off 6. Picking that one up on length. Very little in the way of footwork needed. Flies away to the boundary.
Beautifully hit.
4 off 6, rather.
Yeah, first scoring shot from Tector. He'll hope to have many more like that. Plays and misses to the wicketkeeper, standing up. Nice work with the gloves there from Matt Halliday on his debut for Northern Knights.
Well, the sunlight has returned. You can see the shadows on the pitch, very clearly defined now.
Leinster Lightning with the whip hand over the Knights this year. They've won both matches between the sides in this series this year. This is the third and final meeting. Meaningless in terms of the table and who's going to get the trophy, but bragging rights before the end of the season, and of course ahead of this huge match tomorrow in the 50 over format. That IP20 with Northern Knights on 17 points, Leinster Lightning on 12, and Northern Knights with a positive net run rate of 1.79, while Leinster's is just 0.34, so Leinster would have to win by a big margin tomorrow if they were to steal the trophy from the Knights. That's slashed away. Backward of point for another boundary. Tector won't care how, he just wants to know how many.
On this occasion, steered quite deliberately aerial in clearing the ring, and once the ring's cleared, well, only the boundary was going to stop it, and not even that could do it. It ran away down the hill. Ball fetched back.
Wonderful to see all the great work done by the groundsman here at Oak Hill throughout the summer. The pitch has improved, the outfield is quick, and it's a really fine ground to play your cricket on.
Well, no ball. No ball signalled by the umpire. They take the single. That means they can change the field if they wish to.
So, free hit, is it? Free hit, yes, for the Leinster Lightning. And it's Lorcan Tucker on strike, and I'd say he's thinking of a juicy 6 here, somewhere up near the pavilion.
Well, Lorcan Tucker not adverse to laps and reverse sweeps himself. We'll see how He takes on this free hit now. This is a much better over for the Leinster Lightning.
Wicketkeeper Matt Halliday has switched the hard hat for a soft one as he's gone back into a deeper position for this free hit. And it's the ramp from Tucker. Sweetly played for a first maximum of the Leinster Lightning innings. And a big over this for the Lightning.
Well, innovation from Tucker, ending the over. And what a successful over it was for the Leinster Lightning. Well, they may have only scored one off the first over, but they scored 17 off the second. And that puts them right back to where the Northern Knights were in their innings. Just one difference between them. Northern Knights had reached 19 off 2. And now the Leinster Lightning have reached 18. Many parts thanks to that no ball and the resulting 6 from Lorcan Tucker.
Yeah, it has all the makings of a fine match. I hope the sun stays out because it's much more pleasant for us watching than it is even for the players. But it means the conditions will be very similar for both innings. There was a chance that we could get a shower here today, but it's certainly not looking like it.
No, and that's certainly the last thing we want at this stage. This is a fabulous contest. 188 required at the start of this innings.
And that's pulled away backward of square. Tector with another boundary, his third. Well, we were informed before the game that it was going to be Matt Halliday at wicketkeeper, but in fact it's Ben Callitz who is keeping for the Northern Knights today. And that's squirted away off some part of the inside of the bat for a single.
You could tell from the sound of the bat that that wasn't coming off the middle, and in some ways he's probably fortunate it didn't. Squirted away, Kay Carmichael doing the fielding, and it bounced well in front of him. But Tector wouldn't have wanted to get much more on that, otherwise it would have carried across. That would have been a very tricky one. Well, similar to the first innings, we're seeing different bowlers. Foster, the third bowler used.
Tucker on strike. Ball went down the leg side, and after careful consideration, the wide is signalled.
Well, the Leinster Lightning won't mind that. I don't mind how long the umpire takes. I think there was a question of how far across his stumps Tucker had gone there in an attempt to connect with that one.
Fine delivery from Foster.
Well, it was certainly treated with respect by Tucker, just playing that one down, back down the pitch with a very straight bat.
Tucker attempting the ramp again, but not getting any contact on the ball.
Cian Robinson, who's at what you'd call short, fine leg. He's on the ring. And that's the player that you can see Tucker's trying to clear him, but could just as easily just lift it straight into his hands. Oh, that's not.
That's in the air, and it's straight down the throat of mid-on, and it's a first wicket for the Knights at 24 for 1. Foster gets the breakthrough in his first over. The important wicket of Lorcan Tucker, the birthday boy, has to go for 8 runs. And a setback for Leinster Lightning chasing this huge target. Coming to the crease at number 3, Harry Tector. I think the Leinster Lightning message here is live by the sword or die by the sword.
Well, they're certainly carrying their swords with them. And this was an attempt by Tucker to go, well, down towards Arklow. He didn't make it out of the ground. A nice steady catch. I think it was the captain, Mark Adair, who took that catch. Next batsman in, Harry Tector. Harry hasn't been in the best of form. We know how good he is. As they say, class is permanent, form is only temporary. And it only takes one knock. Suddenly you're back again.
The brothers Tector at the crease for the Lightning. What can they do? They need a big partnership here. And that one's squirting away, just out of Matt Foster's grasp. A very good over from Foster after going for 5 in the opening 2 deliveries. What a comeback, getting the wicket of Tucker. 1 for 6 for him. Tim Tector on 14. Brother Harry yet to score. 24 for 1 after 3.
Oh, a nervous start from Harry Tector. That one causing cries of anguish amongst the fielders as it was just outside Foster's reach. And how that would have set the Northern Knights up. However, they'll be happy enough. 24 for 1, 3 overs gone. They have got rid of the very dangerous birthday boy Lorcan Tucker. And now faced with a pair of Tectors.
Cade Carmichael to continue from the camera end. After his very impressive 57 earlier in the match. And that's squirted away off the outside edge. No fielder out in the deep. Runs away down the hill for 4.
Well, Tim Tector certainly does take advantage of batting in the power play. He's quite happy to lift the ball. As long as he gets enough power to clear the ring, then he knows that's a good shot and picks him up a boundary. He's moved on to 18 off just 13. And he'll be looking to fill the same role as Jake Egan did in the first innings.
And that's high and handsome towards the pavilion. And a full hit, a maximum for Tim Tector. Means business today.
Kate Carmichael did very well with bat in hand. So far, ball in hand, not with the same success. You can see how high up on the bank that one actually landed. Halfway up the bank. Certainly worth the 6 runs.
Tim Tector, who already has the most 4s in the series this year, with 26 before today. That's a beautifully played shot. Straight down the ground. Fielded by Matt Humphreys in the deep. And 11 off the first 3 deliveries. Carmichael, none for 28 off 1.3.
Well, I think Carmichael will be a bit happier now. He's bowling to Harry Tector. Harry yet to get off the mark, only just in the middle. He's only faced that one ball so far, whereas Tim Tector, well, he's going for it. There's no doubt about that. 25 off just 15.
Firmly hit to mid-on, so no run there. Good fielding by Jake Egan.
But again, it's the sort of shot that when you're not in form and you hit one of those, you think, yep, okay, I do know where the middle of the bat is. Even if it went straight to a fielder, even though it was a dot ball, it'll make you feel a bit better.
That's better, through the gap. Stretching the fielder on the boundary. Good backing up, Northern Knights, saving a couple there.
Well, that was good work by Jake Egan, fielding in the circle, but he chased after it. Even though he knew one of his teammates was going to get there, he went over to provide support and ended up being the one to throw it in.
Cian Robertson, the one who came in from the boundary. Every run counts in a chase like this.
Another no ball from Carmichael.
So a couple added to the total. One to Tim Tector, plus that no ball shout and a free hit here for the Lightning. We know what happened the last time. Lorcan Tucker hit it for 6 towards the pavilion. Now let's see if Tim Tector can do the same. Already 4 fours and a 6 in this sprightly innings so far. Beautiful evening in Oak Hill. Absolutely stunning. Mid-September. You want the summer to continue forever. Full toss. Straight to the fielder in the covers. So no run, and Carmichael gets away with that one. But still a very expensive over from him. 15 coming from it. None for 32 off his 2. Tim Tector, the star for the Lightning so far, with 25 off 16. Harry Tector yet ready to get going. It's 4 overs gone, and it's 39 for 1.
Well, Carmichael there, bowling the free hit, went for a slower ball, turned it into a full toss, but as a result, Tector could only force it out. It went straight to a fielder, and unlike the previous free hit, which disappeared over the boundary for 6, this one only adding another run to the total, and Leinster Lightning 39 for 1 off 4.
Matt Foster to continue from the far end. That's straight up in the air. There's a chance here, perhaps. Fielder coming in from the deep, and he's put it down. It was a really difficult chance. That was Jake Egan, who had to travel about 30 metres to get to that. I'm not so sure it wasn't a catch for the player backward point.
Well,
bit of a let-off.
Ross Adair and Matthew Halliday were in the vicinity. They left it for Egan. He had a long way to travel, but he was running onto the ball. I think that's why they left it for him.
Round the corner to backward square leg. A little misfield by Cian Robertson. Easy single that time.
That previous shot, the one into the offside, could be the chance, could actually be the making of Harry Tector's innings. He may feel that he's received a life and he's going to make the most of it. We'll see how he goes from here on in.
Ooh, direct hit would have been close.
Halliday not far off with the throw. Tim Tector would have had his heart in his mouth for a moment there. But the throw was just wide of the stumps. And as a result, they get through for the single.
Good tight bowling so far from Matt Foster. Up in the air. Has it beaten the fielder? Yes, it has. It's all the way for another boundary, another maximum for Tim Tector. Moves to 32.
Well, this is it. If you don't get Tim Tector early in his innings, he can be extremely destructive. We've seen it time and time again this season, not only in the blue of Leinster, but also in his club colours. Changes in the field being made.
It's hard to know where to set the field when the batters are attacking every ball.
Still inside the power play, of course.
Squirts through, beating Jake Egan at backward point for another couple. 50 up for Leinster Lightning. Still one delivery left in the 5th over. It's a good start for them. After 5 overs. Knights were 39 for 1. Oh dear, catching practice. And that's a big breakthrough at the end of the 5th over. And it's Tim Tector who has to go. That Lightning 34 off 19 deliveries brought to an end. And it's 50 for 2 at the end of 5, and Foster gets the wicket.
Well, Matthew Foster, he's now 2 for 17 off just 2 overs. He's picked up a wicket in each one. And it's him that's doing the damage, and he's taking, well, a lot out of this Leinster Lightning innings. Tector joins Tucker on the sidelines. And the new batsman coming in, Krista Frazier's at number 4.
Ball really got up on him. He was trying to lift it over the covers, as you were speaking about earlier. An easy catch for Matt Halliday at backward point.
Well, Leinster Lightning, they won't be too upset with the run rate. It's going along quite nicely. It's the loss of wickets that will be concerning them now. Matthew Foster 2 for 17 from his 2 overs. Well, that's going well for him. Imagine there's going to be a change of bowling here now. I can't believe.
Matt Humphreys, I think, is coming on now.
Well, we first came across yourself and myself, Stephen, first came across Matt Humphreys last season. We were impressed with his bowling then. It's just that he finds it difficult because there are such strong spin options in the Irish side. All you can do is keep performing, keep bringing forward the figures, keep nudging the selectors. At the moment, well, spinners, and of course, talking of spinners, just to mention Simi Singh, he's particularly unwell at the moment. He's over in India, and we certainly wish him all the best.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That was a bump ball, in case any of you didn't catch that. Struck firmly into the covers. Very important for Harry Tector to have an innings today. Coming to the end of a long season. And there you go, he's out. He's been caught in the covers. And Matt Humphreys getting the wicket. And Leinster Lightning in all sorts of bother now. 6th over, 50 for 3. Tector out for 5. 2 new batters at the crease, and the Northern Knights closing in on what they hope will be their first victory against the Lightning this season.
Well, Tector's run continues, just lifting this one. Fielder taking the simplest of catches. That will bring Captain George Dockrell to the middle. And here is this wicket again. Humphreys picking up his first, having more success. That one just bouncing a little more, I think, than Tector expected. And that way it was just lifted out to the fielder. Simplest of catches, 3rd wicket down, and it's these falling wickets that are causing the problem for the Leinster Lightning. The run rate up to now has been there or thereabouts. But, well, 3 wickets down. Krista Frazier's now joined by skipper George Dockrell, and we'll see how they go as they try and carry this Leinster total closer and closer to that 188 required for victory.
No Andy Balbirnie today in the Leinster lineup, but he is slated to play tomorrow in the big 50 over clash between these two sides that will decide the IP20 trophy. Dockrell off the mark with a single. Well, it was looking really good for the Lightning, but a wicket at the end of the last Foster over, a wicket at the beginning of this Humphreys over, and all of a sudden Northern Knights very much in control of their own destiny here. It's going to take a major innings from these two to get them back into this match.
Well, we say that. It's about the loss of wickets, the run rate and run rate required. pretty similar at the moment. It's not a lack of runs that's costing the Lightning. But they are two new batsmen at the crease, and it's hard for new batsmen to keep a run rate going at 9 over. Not over 9. Humphreys first over. Well, he's doing a super job. Just singles being scored. After that, the wicket of Harry Tector.
Two fielders in the deep on the leg side, deep mid on, and cow corner for Humphreys, who bowls that excellent line outside the off stump, which is just what is required. Quicker delivery, and now the change in the field with the two offside fielders pushing out and the two leg side fielders moving in. Found the outside edge, squirting away to backward point. And what a wonderful over from Matt Humphreys. 1 for 2 from his first over. That really valuable wicket of Harry Tector. And at the end of the power play, Leinster Lightning finding themselves on 52 for 3. The 3 being the major problem.
Well, there it is, the top 3. Oh, Tim Tector got off and had a super little knock. Just ended prematurely as far as he was concerned and as far as his side were concerned. It's now left to Freitas and Dockrell, A, to rebuild, 2, to maintain the run rate as it was being scored, and I, to get them a lot closer to that target. They need to go a few overs now without losing a wicket and putting a good partnership together. Well, we've now reached the end of the power play. The field can spread a bit more. That often means that a single's easier to come by. But at the same stage, the Northern Knights were 51 for 1. But the Leinster Lightning 52 for 3. And it's those 2 extra wickets that really have sort of knocked the Leinster Lightning back a bit. They do bat a long way down though, and we'll see what happens.
Well, looked like there might have been a run on there, but no chances taken. It's Aditya Addy who has come on to bowl. A new name for the Northern Knights, making his debut today.
No doubt he'll be thanking his captain for waiting until after the power play. A bit more protection.
Up in the air, well struck though, and it's all the way for a 6. Fine strike from De Freitas.
Well, that one just exploded from him.
That's as good a hit as we've seen all day. Just a perfectly timed off drive. Short delivery pulled down to long leg for a single.
Freitas has always been there or thereabouts with the Leinster Lightning. It feels like they're not quite sure where his best batting position is. Certainly top order batsman, and he's a fine batsman too.
He's more of a 1 to 1.5 per delivery batter though than a 2 per delivery batter. You know, he's very correct. George Dockrell though, well, we know what he can do. He's been doing it for years. He's certainly the man who can turn this Leinster's way.
Shadows of the sight screens starting to encroach onto the pitch now. Nicely called by De Freitas. Realised very quickly that the fielder in the ring wasn't going to get to it, and it was going to travel far enough to let him get through for the single. 9 off the over so far, just one ball remaining. But again, this is what the Lightning need to do, just keep that board ticking. The deeper they take this game, the more they feel that they have a chance of securing what would be an 8th victory out of 9 games. The only other one being rain affected.
Beautiful delivery, beating Dockrell. Was there a little touch there?
Well, the reaction from the wicketkeeper would suggest there was. Certainly there seemed to be the noise of one. Rolling his hand over, and you can see the bowler.
A lifeline for George Dockrell. How vital might that be? Aditya Addy with his first over complete, 9 runs coming from it. 61 for 3 after 7. 61 for 1 was the Northern Knights total. As you were saying, wickets are the crucial thing in this game, and Lightning can't afford to lose any more in the next few overs.
Well, also, the 8th over in that Northern Knights was bowled by Gavin Hoey and went for 22. So they may be up with the rate at the moment, but one suspects they'll have to go some to stay there.
De Freitas seeing the ball well, striking it nicely. George Dockrell needs to be careful here, not to be tempted into the big shots before he's well and truly in. 3 in the deep on the leg side, 1 out in the cover boundary. Super fielding.
Addy it is in the covers there. Dockrell thought he was going to get through for at least a single. Now it goes a lot squarer.
2 on the off boundary, 3 on the leg. It's a defensive enough field from the Knights. That was another lucky break for George Dockrell, who hasn't really got in yet.
Not quite timing there. This occasion. Just squirting out to some spare real estate, and he gets away with it. But that's one edge through to the keeper, another edge through on the leg side.
Matt Humphries, 9 deliveries, just 3 runs off them. And of course, that big wicket as well. Short of that time. Just the single for Dockrell. He moves to 3, the score to 64 for 3. Run rate currently just over 8, the required rate edging above 10. But as you were saying, it's all about just accumulating runs. That's beaten the dive at backward point, and it's away to the boundary. Another solid stroke from De Freitas takes him to 14.
And this shot illustrates just how fast the outfield is. Humphries putting that one well outside the blue line. De Freitas went over to meet it, and he's played it beautifully down to 3rd. Picks up 4 runs. There's not a... Just the one player on the leg side for De Freitas is inside the ring. 3 protecting the boundaries. But Humphries very definitely bowling outside off to De Freitas, not allowing him to swing one round to the leg side, and that's good bowling from Humphreys, and that's a fine over.
7 from it, 1 for 9 off his 2 overs. Humphreys has started well. Will he continue? That's the question. Dockrell is on 3, De Freitas on strike on 15. He's looking dangerous. The run rate required is exactly 10, and after 8 it's 68 for 3.
Well, another 120 required from those 12 overs. Again, we say that these two need to be taking it deeper and deeper. 3 wickets down. Sure, the Northern Knights didn't lose their 3rd wicket till the 14th over.
And that heavy Hoey over, as you said, was the 7th, 8th over, and they were 88 for 1 at this stage. But there's a long way to go. Still 12 overs to be bowled. Oh, that was a bad mistake. That's going to run away. Brilliantly stopped on the boundary. It has to be said by Jake Egan.
Well, he's having a good game, is Egan. He's been lively in the field, but most importantly for his side, he put on 58 and 58 very quickly. But he's done a super job for the Northern Knights today, and they'll be glad to welcome him back from injury.
And that's George Dockrell with his arms released, and it's away for a 6 over square leg.
I think the fielders on that side now are signalling to the 3rd umpire, I'm not fetching that, he's gone too far, can't find that, so we'll come out with another ball. And that one went a long time. You can see the fielder just going, no, that's way down there. It could be has crossed into the next field.
I was going to say that 1 run saved on the previous delivery could be crucial in the game, and then
6
George
for the next
goes
one.
for 6 in the next delivery. So,
well, that 6 does mean that run rate and run rate required, the gap between them closes again. It could be these two, if they're still here in another 4 or 5 overs, then we'll see where we are, and it will be very interesting from there on in. The Northern Knights would love to knock over one of these two. Still batting to come in Harbinson, Hand, Hoey, Seamus Lynch. So it's not like there's a long tail for the Lightning, but they do need people just to stay in the middle at the moment. And as Stephen was talking about, accumulating runs.
so pressure on Addy here. Oh, that's gone straight up in the air, but where is it? Oh, it's a fine catch in the end. Ross Adair getting under that and taking the catch, and that's a big wicket. George Dockrell goes, a 4th wicket down for the Lightning, with the score just 77. And it's definitely advantage the Knights now.
Well, it certainly is. Dockrell went after that one, could only get an edge onto it, and he picks up a wicket. His first of the day, and he'll be a lot happier for having done that. 4th wicket down, and the Lightning now, well, we said that these two needed to take it deep. Well, that still applies. And Sam Harbison makes his way out to the middle at number 6, and he'll join Chris De Freitas. It'll be a Merrion Balbriggan partnership. And what can they do? Egan did well to hold on to that because his elbows hit the ground with such force. You often see the ball just released.
Yep, that was a fine catch. Looked like it was getting away from him for a moment, but he kept his eyes on it. Caught it with both hands.
It wasn't the first chance that Dockrell had given, but it was the first chance that had been taken.
Addy gets his first wicket. Coming into the side today with so many players missing for the Northern Knights. Great opportunity for him. And that's some comeback after going for 3 and 6 in the first 2 deliveries of the over. So now it's Harbinson on strike. Going down leg, strikes the pads. A few gasps, but no real appeal.
Absolutely beautiful here. The view to the sea over there. We see over to our left of your screen. The hills in front of us and the sunshine here at Oak Hill.
Snicks away off Harbinson's bat and down to the boundary for a 4. He's off the mark. And the Lightning move into the 80s.
Well, not the cleanest shot of Sam Harbinson's career, but it reaches the boundary. And he won't mind how he got off the mark, just that he did.
Yeah, the run rate for the Lightning is pretty good, but unfortunately those 4 wickets could come back to haunt them. It's been an expensive over here, but a successful one for Addy. And that's squirted away off the inside edge. Going to be a couple more for Harbinson here. The huge wicket of George Dockrell goes against the name of Aditya Addy. But that over went for 15 runs. He's 1 for 24 off his 2. Harbinson's on 6, De Freitas on 18. And after 9, it's 83 for 4.
Well, it's a tricky position the Leinster Lightning find themselves in. I suppose the one good thing about being backed into a corner like this is that it's limiting how they can get out of it as well. And it's going to have to be, somebody is going to have to take on their luck and ride it to the finish. Still over 100 required, 105 required now from 11 overs. And that's why that run rate is just over 9.5. Runs have been coming. We've seen plenty of runs scored here today at Oak Hill. It has been a lovely batting track, but Northern Knights doing enough and just picking away at those Lightning wickets.
Cian Robertson coming on at the pavilion end. And that's a big hit again. De Freitas seeing it like a football at the moment. He moves to 24 off 10 deliveries. If anybody's going to win it for the Lightning, it's Chris De Freitas.
Yeah, but he also does need a partner who's going to stick there with him and not use up the strike, but rather try and give De Freitas the strike. He's going well, 24 off just 10. Umpire just taking a quick look at the ball. Make sure it's still in its original condition.
Pulled from outside the off stump for a single. Two 6s and a 4 for De Freitas in his quickfire 25. Looks like he'll have to score something in the region of 80-85, I'd say, if Lightning are to get home here. And have partners who can stick around. Good fielding by Addy in the covers, preventing Harbinson from taking a run there. Nicely struck down the ground, but the deep mid-off is in good position. Jake Egan. So just a single to Harbinson.
My goodness, Jake Egan, he's popping up all over the field at the moment. Whenever the ball gets hit out towards the boundary, just seems to be Jake Egan doing the fielding. I'd say he's enjoying his day, though.
5 out in the deep for the Knights. Just one inside the circle on the leg side at 45 degrees. That's again nicely struck, but it's straight to Humphreys. Another single.
Those are the sorts of shots that you just get the sense those were the sorts of shots that were going for 4 in the first innings. I don't know whether it's, you know, better field set or batsmen just hitting fielders, not having the same impact as the Northern Knights batsmen did.
I think the bowling has been tighter. I think the Knights have kept the ball between the wickets. There's too much short stuff from the Lightning. And they were punished for that. Another single to Harbinson. And we've played 10 overs here. We're at the halfway mark of the reply. And look at that, 93 scored. And I think that means there's 95 required. So runs-wise, Lightning are doing okay. Here's the bowling figures for the Knights. 2 for 17 from Foster. Addy with a wicket and Humphreys as well. And a great first over from Mark Adair, who of course has 3 more overs to bowl. And of course that could be crucial later in the match.
Well, there is the Leinster Lightning card so far. It's not quite as bright as perhaps they would have wanted, but Harbinson and De Freitas now starting to put together a bit of a partnership. And they'll be hoping to carry that on further.
So it's Addy to continue. Well, the appeal was for stumping, I think. It was brilliant wicket keeping by Ben Callets.
Oh, here it is again. You'll see the smart glove work. His foot was down just before the bails came off, but it was quick, smart work from the keeper. It's one of those ones whereby as a batsman you go, oh, I forgot you were there. But Gallett's doing a fine job behind the sticks.
Well, if that was intentional, it was very good from Harbinson. He should get a couple here.
Another batsman who's not afraid to innovate, to use unusual shots. I don't think he was fully in control of that one, but he does pick up another 2. 93 off 58 now.
Sounds like a lot, but it's less than 2 a ball. And Harbinson playing and missing outside the off stump. Good length delivery, beat him there by Addy.
Callets is determined to pick up a stumping here somehow today. He's only just short of pushing De Freitas over outside his crease before taking the bails off.
Matt Halliday coming up into the circle at 3rd. Firm shot from Harbinson, but there's a fielder out there. It's that man again, your favourite player, Jake Egan.
He really is covering a lot of ground today. I don't think he's going to have any trouble with his go fit or whatever, telling him he's not done enough steps. He's done a lot today.
24 off the first 2 overs from Addy. He's come back well here, just 3 off 4 deliveries in this over. But De Freitas back on strike. I think De Freitas will feel like he missed one there. It was a full toss and he couldn't find the gap between the 3 fielders on the leg side. Just a single. Coming to the end of the 11th over. Lightning almost into 3 figures. It's still a good match, this. The fielder is there, but the fielder isn't that tall. And it's a 6 from Harbinson to bring up the 100 for the Lightning. 103 for 4 now at the end of 11 overs. Didn't quite time this, but it went all the way.
As you say, I was not quite getting all of it. The fielder felt he was in with a chance for a while. But then, well, there was just enough on it to take it over that fielder, over the rope, over the fence and down the hill. 6 runs, 103 for 4 off 11. And if anything, Leinster Lightning slightly ahead on runs. Still behind on wickets. They have lost the top 4. Well,
85 or 54 required. After 11 overs, the Knights were 98 for 2. So, as you were saying, Lightning just slightly ahead. That over from Addy going for 10, but he got the wicket. Or he got the wicket in the previous over, rather. So it's Cian Robertson to continue.
Well, you can see there, De Freitas again looking, searching for the big shot. Realised it wasn't the ball that he wanted, but still managed to get a single. Well, that's one of the things we say in T20 is if you can reduce the number of dot balls, no matter how you get the ball away, just get a single, and you turn your dots into ones and ones into twos, and suddenly big totals become very catchable.
A lot of chatting going on the field about who's going where. 2 out in the deep on the offside. Matt Halliday coming across to cover. Sliced away, and it's caught by the point fielder, and Harbinson goes. Couldn't resist it. Had a swing, and Robertson gets the breakthrough. His first wicket of the match. And Harbinson is the 5th Lightning wicket to fall at 104.
Well, that's a tough wicket for the Lightning. Harbinson had been going along quite nicely, 17 off just 12 deliveries. But now he's on his way back to the pavilion as he tried to cut one away on the offside. Here is the delivery. Robertson picking up his first wicket. And a nice tumbling catch behind point, making absolutely sure of that one.
Pretty sure it was Aditya Addy who made the catch.
Another small stand, 27 between Harbinson and De Freitas. And now Seamus Lynch comes in to join Chris De Freitas. Once again, runs coming nicely for the Leinster Lightning, but they are just losing these wickets. Now perhaps they're timing it perfectly and they'll get to 188 for 9. You know, it may be the perfect chase, but at the moment, certainly my feeling is that they're losing too many wickets here early on. Just 5 wickets remaining.
I mean, normally you'd think scoreboard pressure is a big part to play, but they've already won the trophy and the match
should be just
hasn't
enjoying it.
Really got that much bearing on the series. So they should be pretty free to express themselves.
That's what you'd hope anyway, that, you know, that they would be given that freedom of just go for it. Go and enjoy yourselves.
Big appeal, but no finger.
Not even a twitch from the umpire. See it again here. You can play. You are the umpire.
Maybe pitching outside leg stump. It was close to it. There's no replays for the umpires, but that's a wicket for sure. The stumps are broken and it's the 6th wicket down, and Cian Robertson has 2 in an over. 2 for 11 for him off 1.4. And Lynch goes second ball for naught. And at 104 for 6. It looks like the Lightning are sliding to defeat.
Well, not the most convincing innings by Seamus Lynch. The first ball, big LBW appeal. He got the benefit of the doubt from the umpire on that one. But on the second delivery, Robinson getting one through. He was trying to clip it away on the leg side, but he just didn't get baton ball as a result. The only thing to stop its progress was the stumps.
Beautiful delivery. Just flighted towards the leg stump and enough turn to beat the outside edge. Fine, fine bowling from young Cian Robertson, who had 7 wickets in the series coming into this match, and he's got a couple more today. And it's Gavin Hoey, the new batter for Leinster Lightning, joining Chris de Freitas, who has watched the carnage from the non-striking end. De Freitas in really good nick. He needs to dominate this innings. He needs to dominate this partnership, rather. He needs to get the strike because he's scoring at 2 per ball, 200.
Well, it's one of those ones whereby if he faced the remaining balls, the Lightning would win at that rate. However, A, he's not going to get all the strike, and B, he really needs a batsman to stay with him for a while. Just 4 wickets in hand now. 12 overs gone, 104 for 6. After 2 wickets fell in that over. Robinson's over. 2 wickets.
Oh, that's the crucial over so far. Harbinson first, and then Seamus Lynch for a duck. Second ball. Looks like there's one more delivery in this over. I think the umpire had called over, but he's been told that there is one more delivery, so let's see what happens here.
Well, Hoey doing the right thing and just keeping that one out to complete that over. So 12 overs gone, 104 for 6. Well, something I have just noticed, Matthew Foster has taken 2 wickets in this innings so far. That puts him on 11 for the series. He's just 1 behind Josh Manley now. He'll be hoping that in his last 2 overs he can pick up 1 at least to go joint top. None of the Leinster Lightning bowlers improved their figures really today.
Mark Adair in conversation at the far end there with Matt Foster, I think it is, who may be coming back here. The lefty Chris de Freitas on strike. So the left-right combination for Leinster Lightning, they just wish that there weren't 6 wickets against their total of 104. 84 required of 48 deliveries. 4 wickets in hand. Matt Foster coming in for his 3rd over. Pulled away nicely, but just the single. They thought about 2, but it was never on.
Yeah, it was probably a wise decision. But again, it's good that they're alive to the thought of a second. There's nothing worse than seeing 2 batsmen just stroll down, taking their single, and then, oh, we could have taken a second. Hoey very definitely taking middle stump guard. What a strange summer it's been. I haven't come across a windier summer, that's for sure.
Or maybe even a wetter one for the first half or 2/3 of it. That's a brilliant shot from Hoey. Smashed in front of square. Gone onto that one quickly.
Well, anything short to Hoey, he's liable to go after. Coming in at number 8, that'll be his normal game. Good eye for the ball. When he hits it, it does stay hit.
Deep point, deep mid wicket. Cow corner and mid on are the boundary fielders. That's up in the air. This should be the wicket keepers if he can get there. And he does. Ben Callets Gets the 7th wicket to fall for the Leinster Lightning. A really fine catch running away to his left. And after a promising start, Gavin Hoey perishes on a top edge. And Foster has another wicket, just like you were saying he would want.
Indeed, he now goes to the top of the charts, himself and Josh Manley, each with 12 wickets in this competition. And on a personal note, they will be delighted with that. Although, of course, I'm sure they'd exchange that for to be topping the table. But from a personal point of view, well done to Matthew Foster. He's up to 12. And, well, there are 3 wickets left. And he has one more over. Well, there you go. Ben Callett's made a lot of ground there. And at one stage it looked like he wasn't going to make enough. But he got right underneath it. And the gloves, big help. John McNally now coming in at number 9.
Lightning have gone from 104 for 4 to 109 for 7 in what seems like jig time.
Yes.
And you'd have to say, from this position, it would be a miracle if they could eke out a victory with still, 79 runs required.
Well, if they do manage to do it, it'll be a game for the ages, one we'll talk about for years to come. 109 for 7 though, 79 required from just 45 deliveries. But the Northern Knights just searching for 3 more wickets. And you can see that now.
And the wide is signalled, not the catch, as Foster looks to be the top wicket taker of this series. He's already got 3 in the match. A 4 for quite unusual at 20 over cricket. This is just his 3rd over. Dab down by McNally to get off the mark.
Of course, we have 2 left-handers in now.
First time today. Makes it easier for the fielding side, that's for sure.
Nelson, 111 for 7.
Off the gloves of De Freitas, just a single. As Matt Halliday races in from the boundary. Chris De Freitas sort of becalmed in the late 20s, just reaches 30 now.
Yeah, the last few overs, I mean, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's on to his 6th partner, and he's actually been watching a lot of this from the non-striker's end.
That bouncer from Foster signalled a wide. The runs are coming off the overs all right. But 7 wickets down. That's the key for the Lightning, and they just haven't been able to build partnerships like the Knights did.
You do get the feeling that the Northern Knights field just is a little bit tighter now as the wickets have been falling. They're coming off the edge of the ring and just coming in a few yards, trying to cut off those singles. They know the Leinster Lightning want big blows, but they also know that they have the cover on the boundary. 5 fielders out there. But the ones on the inside, they're just coming in now. Whereas before, you may find that they were willing to give a single, but they wanted to stop the ball getting past them to the boundary. Now they're almost looking to produce as many dot balls as possible.
Now, interestingly, it's Mark Adair coming back. smelling a little bit of blood, I think. Leinster Lightning blood. Only bowled the first over for 1 run. And now coming back with still 3 to go. He could bowl overs 14, 16 and 18 if he so chooses, or maybe keep himself back for the death if it goes that far.
I think he's searching for just to knock over these 3 wickets. Lovely delivery first up from Adair. Goes with a slightly slower, shorter ball. And De Freitas, well, before he realised what the pace was, it had actually sort of looped past him. It bounced well in front of the keeper. That gave you an idea of just how much slower that ball from Adair was. And you can see exactly what Adair's doing here. He's not looking for maximum pace. He is just looking for accuracy, stump to stump. Let the batsman make the mistakes. He knows they're the ones who have to go chasing after this. And these changes of paces, deliveries, just making it harder and harder for De Freitas to connect.
Looked like a slower delivery, that last one. Nicely pulled by De Freitas, and it's through the fielder's hands for a boundary.
Well, that's disappointing for the fielder. The camera will linger on him, and he won't want that. Cade Carmichael it is. Did well in the first innings with 57, but he's almost given back 3 there anyway. 1-7 for 7.
71 to win with 39 balls remaining.
Well, that's all De Freitas could do with that delivery. Off speed again.
Clever bowling from Mark Adair.
This is where the experience is coming in. He knows exactly what the Leinster Lightning batsmen are looking for. And he's not willing to provide that to them, even if it does mean a huge drop in pace.
Big test here for young McNally. Coming up against one of Ireland's best bowlers.
Certainly leader of the attack, I'd say, at the moment. Another one off speed.
That one almost came out of the back of the hand. It seemed to go through at a slow bowler's pace.
And you can see he's not entirely sure at the moment. When you're facing the leader of the Irish pace attack, Mark Adair, you're not expecting dibbly-dobbly to come at you. You just don't know. You're waiting for that quick ball, and he's going over the wicket now. One feels that this one might be at a quicker pace. Another dot
That's well
ball.
wide. It's signalled it wide. Sorry about the problems with our cameras. It's just a technical hitch. We're trying to fix it.
But this has been a fabulous Mark Adair over. These middle overs, you'd expect the Leinster Lightning to be going after his bowling. But he's just posing them such questions at the moment.
And that's played out to wide mid-on. Just a single for McNally, who moves to 2. And he keeps the strike, which is not what De Freitas would have wanted. Mark Adair with none for 8 off his 2 overs. De Freitas on 35, McNally on 2, and after 14, it's 120 for 7. Just runs-wise, they're only 4 behind the Knights, but the Knights had only lost 3 wickets at this stage.
Well, that's it. They had, well, in fact, they'd lost their 3rd wicket in this over. But they had an established batsman in. That was the difference. Lightning now with their number 4, batting with their number 9.
And back comes Matt Humphreys to bowl over number 15. How will McNally fare against his Clever spin bowling. Taking a two-leg stance, or a guard rather. Ben Callett's up to the stumps. Pressure on McNally here just to survive and maybe get De Freitas back on strike. Humphrey's first 2 overs going for just 9 runs. And there's the single from McNally that brings De Freitas back on strike.
Well, that's good play by McNally. He didn't try and overhit it, or didn't try looking for the ropes. He just wanted to get his partner down on strike. Handing over responsibility, I suppose.
Single into that vacant mid-wicket area, but just a single.
I don't think Northern Knights will be too worried about singles from here on in.
Oh, they're well in control.
As you say, it's amazing how close the runs are. Again, it's those wickets and it's the acceleration that the Knights put on in those final overs.
Good hit that by McNally, and he's found the gap. A wave from Jake Egan, who for once couldn't do something miraculous, and McNally has his first boundary and moves to 7. And the score to 126 for 7. 62 required of 33.
Knights remain in the box seat, courtesy of those 7 wickets. And the run rate just getting higher and higher now.
Yeah, good running by De Freitas. He was heading off almost before the ball had struck the bat of McNally. 2 balls left in the over.
Again, it's not a bad over for the Leinster Lightning. 7 runs coming from it. Still 2 balls to go.
De Freitas needs a boundary and a single. Keep the strike.
Well,
we got the single.
We got the single first. But I suppose it does give McNally free rein with this next delivery.
Well, except that he's facing Matt Humphreys, who's bowling beautifully. I mean, there are 8 runs off this over, but Humphreys has hardly bowled a loose delivery in his 3 overs so far. Quicker ball. And McNally unable to get it away. So that is the end of the 3rd over for Humphreys. 1 for 17 for him. McNally stays on 8. De Freitas will have the strike on 37. And it's 128 for 7 after 15.
Well, in these last 5 overs, Northern Knights scored 57 runs.
With wickets in hand, of course, they could freely go for their shots.
Absolutely, and that's what it was. It was those wickets in hand that enabled them just to have the freedom and let Rossadair come in later. One wonders when they brought in Lorcan Tucker to open, and you see De Freitas batting so well, would they have been better off leaving Lorcan Tucker in that sort of Rossadair role to come in later on and finish things off?
Mini surprise for me, Cade Carmichael coming back here, having gone for 32 in his 2 overs without looking like he was going to get a wicket, and Mark Adair has only bowled 2 overs. Maybe a chance for De Freitas to plunder a few runs here and give Leinster Lightning an outside chance. But they do need 12 and over now. Big ask. Off the pad, looked like it was running down the leg side.
Even the way it ran off the batsman, it went down on the leg side. You'll see it again here.
Was way across his stumps though.
He really was.
Maybe a bit high. Anyway, no decision given. And De Freitas survives to go again, and this time he flashes outside the off stump. Three inside the circle on the offside, just one on the leg side. Two out deep, three out deep on the leg side and two on the offside. It's in the air and over the man at backward point. Will it run away? No, it didn't quite have enough on it. James McCullum coming around. Just two for De Freitas that time.
Oh, I was almost disappointed it wasn't Jake Egan.
Now where is Jake? It's almost like, where's Wally?
Nice bit of timing.
Gallett's thought he had him there. He's still looking for that stumping.
He's determined to get one. Now, of course, two stumpings puts you alone at the top of the stumpings charts. Only two stumpings in this series.
Lorcan Tucker, I think, got one.
He did, and I can't remember the other.
Straight down the ground to Matt Humphreys. Just a single for De Freitas.
Again, it's good to see Carmichael. He was expensive in those first 2 overs. 32 runs coming from the first 12 deliveries. But this over now, he is bowling against the number 4 and the number 9. Perhaps a little easier, but even so.
Shorter ball, pulled away nicely. They're not going to go for two. So McNally keeps the strike. He moves to 9, and after 16 it's 132 for 7, and a fine comeback over that from Carmichael. Just 4 coming from it. That sun is going down and the chilly air is definitely coming in. We've been told about a bit of northerly, northwesterly, colder air coming towards us for tomorrow and Thursday. It feels like it's arrived already.
Well, there's the weather forecast. Now regional news. Lovely day down in Wicklow today. When we first saw the weather this morning, it was described by one of the officials here as mizzle, and that's what it was, between drizzle and mist. And it was, well, I thought it was highly unlikely we were going to see any play. Instead, we've had a lovely day here in Oak Hill. Lovely afternoon. Northern Knights providing most of the entertainment. They scored 187 in their 20 overs and did so only losing 4 wickets. Well, the Leinster Lightning, they've been chasing this total down, but they've been losing wickets regularly. No real stands. De Freitas now is the one-man standing tall.
Didn't quite time that one. After McNally had pulled the first delivery away for a single. Mark Adair switching ends for his third over. 55 off 22. Pretty impossible now for the Lightning.
Well, certainly from what we've seen from these two so far, you don't think they're going to get 55 from just 22 deliveries.
That's a good shot, but it's out. Caught by your man. Jake Egan on the boundary, getting just reward for his efforts today. And Cade Carmichael, or Chris De Freitas rather, is out. The best batter for Leinster Lightning today. But that surely is the last hope. Out for 40, caught by Egan, bowled by Mark Adair. And it's 133 for 8. Good innings from Carmichael, or from De Freitas rather. He just didn't get enough of the strike. That was the problem.
Yeah, and he was left down the non-striker's end. He saw a lot of partners down the other end. He did his best. 40 runs. But now Hand of Clontarf comes in. And as we say, this is now a very, very difficult uphill mountainous task for the Leinster Lightning.
If I was them, I'd head back to base camp and regroup ahead of tomorrow's attack of the mountain peak. Because tomorrow is the one that really matters. The 50-over game between these two sides, which will be coming up at 10:45 tomorrow morning here in Oak Hill. The Knights in pole position, Leinster Lightning having to win that game with a bonus point and win it by a big margin to overtake the positive run rate of the Knights. Hand off the mark with his first delivery.
Oh, he's only just made it down to the other end. Mark Adair knocking the bails off with his fingertips. Yeah, that game tomorrow, yes, Leinster A need to win, B need to win with a bonus point, and C need to win with a good, positive run rate. So to drop the Northern Knights run rate and increase their own, and then maybe, just maybe, they will do the double. Otherwise, it will be the Northern Knights who are the 50-over champions and the Leinster Lightning who are the 20-over champions. And I think that's a fair reflection. I don't think the league tables lie.
Quicker delivery that from Mark Adair. Beat McNally for pace.
I think the Northern Knights and the Leinster Lightning have been the two best teams in interprovincial cricket this year. It's been a pleasure being able to bring these pictures to you during the summer. Interprovincial series here, 20 overs, 50 overs, and of course the Super Series as well. It's been most entertaining this year.
That's fine bowling by Mark Adair. Just 2 runs coming from it. 1 for 10 of his 3 overs. Leinster Lightning sliding away here to defeat their first defeat of this series after 7 wins from 8 matches. Just the 1 game abandoned. And that imperious position at the top of the table with 34 points. Looks like it's going to stay there. And for the Knights, well, they're going to move up to 25 or 26. Which kind of sums up the difference between the sides this year, as you were saying. Leinster Lightning with almost as many wins as the other 3 sides put together coming into this.
Well, in fact, if the Leinster Lightning somehow managed to score 54 from these last 3 overs, then yes, that would exactly be the position.
We talked about motivation earlier in the day, and I think that's one of the crucial aspects to today's encounter, that there was nothing really for the Lightning to play for. Their bowling was loose, and they gave the Knights too many loose deliveries. And on the batting side, that's a fine shot. Away for a 6.
Well, Hand will be delighted with that, getting the ball he wanted. And he's lifted it square on the leg side. 6 runs to the total. Nice. One of those ones, it's actually very close into the body. It's one of those ones sometimes just pops straight back up and the bowler and the wicket-keeper fight each other for who's going to take the catch. But on this occasion, he got enough on it and disappeared for 6 runs.
Quicker delivery. Bang on line, and that's a brilliant comeback from Matt Humphreys. Well, he didn't like being hit for a 6, and he's got his man. Fionn Hand, LBW, bowled Matt Humphreys for 7.
Well, here you'll see this delivery again. Let's hit him in line. If it was turning back enough to go onto the stumps, well, that's the end of Hand. Humphreys picks up a 2nd wicket. LBW. Well, It's the last rights now. Melvin Davirage comes out to the middle. He had a fine debut with ball in hand. He needs to do something, well, quite miraculous now if he's to see his side home.
Deverage, who took 2 for 18 off his 4 overs, the best bowler for Leinster today by a very long way. But he's not used to batting at this level, and he's up against a fine young spin bowler here in Matt Humphreys. He'll be thinking to himself, oh, I can get another one here. Not the best of deliveries, well wide, in fact signalled a wide.
I think Humphreys will be happy that was signalled a wide, because then he gets to do it again.
6 wicket wide. Box of all sorts. A nicely taken run by McNally, who gets Deverage off strike. And he's off the mark, Deverage, in his debut for Leinster Lightning. Proud day for him. His bowling was superb. And he's come out at number 11 with not too many chances of his side finding a way to win this game. 46 or 15.
It's over 18 and over required now.
Not quite doable. McNally hits it down to deep mid-on for a single. Good experience for McNally too. Another player who hasn't had too many chances at this level. And that is the good thing about so many players being unavailable for today's match. So many of the fringe players are getting their opportunity, trying to see what they can do at this, the second highest level of the game in Ireland.
Well, and in fairness, a few of them have taken their opportunity. Ada's taken a wicket. Halliday fielded very well early on. He's taken a nice catch. All these guys coming into the side, apart from the names, the established names we're all aware of.
Up in the air, heading towards us in the commentary position and clearing the rope for another 6.
Wow, what a shot from the number 11. He may be having a word with his skipper about his position in the batting lineup. And Mark Adair, he kept a close eye on that all the way. But even he realised that was going over.
And
The rope.
over, bookended by 6s. Humphreys' 4 overs have yielded 32 runs for 2 wickets. And Leinster Lightning 149 for 9 now off 17. And they only need 39 off the last 3 overs.
2 overs.
2 overs. Well, that makes it even more
Even
impossible.
more exciting.
Oh, they only need 20 and over. Let's see what they can do. Who's bowling this one? Is it Matt Foster back on at the far end for his 4th over? Well struck down the ground and straight under the sight screens for another boundary. McNally moves to 15.
McNally's starting to see the ball a little bit better. And he just pushes that one down the ground.
Nobody's told him that this match is over as a contest. Squirts away, backward of square for a single. McNally to 16 or 15 deliveries. Devereux 7 off 3. He'd probably be thinking, this is easy.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
6 of those runs coming off the one shot. And I'm sure he's going to look to take on Foster. Foster, of course, is looking for one more wicket to go top of the wicket takers in the IP20 for 2024. But more importantly, to secure the victory for the Northern Knights.
And Devereaux gets another single down the ground to move to 8.
He's striking at 200.
The only problem is he needs to strike at about 350.
33 acquired off just 9 balls now.
But it's great experience for these tail enders for the Lightning.
Absolutely. They need to be batting a couple of times a year anyway. You can't always rely on the big guns. There is going to come a time when you need somebody down below.
Sounded good, but straight to the fielder in the deep. James McCullum going very close to getting a run out there. That was a fine throw back to Foster at the bowler's end.
Foster now just 2 balls remaining in his allocation, and he's bowled well. You might say 33 runs is a lot to concede off 4 overs, but we've seen today there are a lot of runs out on this pitch. I suspect it will be the same one we use tomorrow.
Up in the air, there's a chance. And under it is Cian Robertson, and that, as they say, is that. A fine win from the Northern Knights. Foster gets that extra wicket, which takes him top of the wicket-taking category with 4 for 33 here from his 3.5 overs. And the Lightning are all out for 156. Devereaux goes for 8. McNally left stranded on 17. And the victory for the Northern Knights by 31 runs. A game that they have dominated more or less from the start of play and fully deserve to beat the Leinster Lightning for the first time in this series this year.
Yeah, that was a fine performance by the Northern Knights. It started with their batting. They did an awful lot right there, and they put up a very big total. 187 for 4 off 20 overs. A couple of half centuries in there for Egan and Carmichael, and then Rossiter as well. The cards will come up soon as we watch the groundsman clearing the wicket for tomorrow's game, and we'll see how that goes. And what a lovely view of, well, I suppose we'd call this mid-Wicklow, wouldn't we?
Yep, beautiful hills of Wicklow, lovely farmland in the distance as we look away towards the sea. And there is there was the card for Leinster Lightning.
Go through the game here, and there are the 2 half centuries, Egan and Carmichael. McCullum provided good support, and as I say, Ben Callett's 8 runs from 9 balls, the only one to score at less than a run a ball, as Rossiter came in at the end and was quite brutal in scoring 36 off just 24 deliveries.
Partnerships were good. It was one of the keys of the day. That 59 partnership between Egan and Carmichael for the second wicket, and the 60 partnership between Carmichael and Rossiter for the fourth wicket. And they really were the difference. They didn't lose wickets early on. They kept their partnerships intact, and they left themselves with plenty of opportunities to score quickly right to the end.
Well, they only lost 1 wicket in the first 10 overs, and that's kind of reflected in the bowling figures as well. Devereaux, he 2 for 18 off his 4 overs. He was the most economical, he was the most dangerous, and he was the best bowler for the Lightning today on debut. Hand going at over 10 and over. Hoey, well, that will be a day he'll want to forget. 18 and over for 3 overs, and he reached the half century. John McNally, well, he had a successful time with the bat there at the end, but the bowling didn't really go his way, just that 1 over for 10 runs. The partnerships, well, that's where the difference was, and that's where we saw.
And as for the Leinster Lightning reply, well, too many wickets falling too quickly. The loss of all of the top order batters with the score at just around 100 proved costly in the end. Best of the batters De Freitas with a 40, but he needed to dominate the strike more if he was to get them closer to the target. And in the end, the innings fizzled away. 18.5 overs, 156 all out.
Well, unlike the Northern Knights, the Leinster Lightning They had plenty of partnerships, but that was only because wickets kept falling. They had to start again and again. Nothing over 30 there. A couple of 27s and a 26 and a couple of 24s. But other than that, they never really got going, and they never really had a pair who really sort of dug in and stuck around and scoring runs. They were scoring at a good rate, but the wickets kept falling.
Super bowling from the Knights, especially from Mark Foster, who becomes the biggest run wicket taker of this series. Matt Foster with 4 for 32 today, bringing his total, I think, to 13 wickets in the series. Really good bowling as well from Humphreys with 2 for 32 and Robertson with 2 for 11. And there's the summary of the match. The Knights with a really good, exciting 187 for 4. The Lightning with a poor effort from them, really, you'd have to say. 156 all out from 18.5 overs, and it was a reasonably easy win for the Northern Knights by 31 runs to bring to an end this 20-over series, which the Lightning have won, thanks to the fact that they won 7 of their first 8 matches. Well, a super day's cricket today, and tomorrow we're going to do it all again, because it's the IP20 finale with the Lightning playing the Knights here in Oak Hill. That match starting at 10:45. I hope you'll be able to join us for that. But from Craig Senior and myself, may I say, many thanks to all of the staff and crew of HBV Studios for their brilliant commitment to Irish cricket, and many thanks to Oak Hill for providing us with a wonderful backdrop here in County Wicklow. And we'll do it all again tomorrow at 10:45. Do join us then. Thank you and goodbye.